Hello everyone, my name is Shubham Sagar and today we will start this series of 50 most important current affairs for UPSC CSE prelims. We are talking about 2026, which is scheduled in May 2026. If I'm not wrong, May 24, 2026. So this is polity module, guys, and we'll be doing 6 modules. So polity is the first module. So we'll be doing part 1 today. There will be 4 parts of each module. So polity and economy, environment and geography will be one, and then you have economy done, environment and geography done, society and culture will be one. All these, like when we're talking about 50 most important current affairs, so polity will have 50 most important current affairs of last 1 year, and economy 50, environment and geography 50, society and culture 50, IR 50, and what else is left? Polity, economy, environment, society and culture, IR. Anything we have left? Do tell me in the comment section what we have left. There has to be a 6th module. If we go from paper 1, perspective paper 1 is covered, paper 2 polity IR is covered, paper 3 economy is covered, environment is covered. Seriously guys, science and tech, that is the 6th module. So science and tech, 50 most important questions. So even in science and tech you will have defense, etc., integrated. So again, so 300 important current affairs will be covering in these 6 modules. Every module will have 4 parts. So this is polity first part. My name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. So what does it mean first part? So here we will discuss 13 most important articles of polity for UPSC CSE 2026 with PYQs and MCQs. This is my Telegram channel, guys. I'll be, you can join this Telegram channel. I do Hindu analysis daily, and I upload this particular PDF, Hindu analysis PDF, every day by 9:30 a.m. I do it like Monday to Saturday. So yes, you can join this Telegram channel because doing current affairs is a habit or should be a habit. So when you're following daily current affairs and you have these PDFs, you solve MCQs, etc., you solve means question, it helps you in more ways than one. This is good for revision, this 50 most important current affairs, but that thing will develop or become a habit. It should become a habit. So let's start the discussion without wasting any time. First most important article or polity most important article related to preamble. Just give me a second, let me check everything is fine or not. Yes, everything is fine. So preamble, UPSC has already asked a lot of questions on preamble. you know Let me show you the introductory part of the constitution, and we will see what is there in this article. And then UPSC has asked different types of things from this preamble. Please guys, mug it up. Mug it up means just mug it up. You have to remember it. Oh my god, must look at my doctor like handwriting. So they have asked which of the liberties not there in preamble. There's a mnemonic which you people may already know it. F4, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. So remember your, like, how many kinds of justice are there, socio-economic and political. What this article is saying, that socialist and secular was not originally there in our constitution or preamble rather. So originally our preamble was sovereign democratic republic. This socialist and secular word was added by 42nd amendment, which is also known as mini constitution, because it made a lot of changes, and many people are not happy with this, these two words, socialist and secular. Like RSS leader, we will not go into the political connotation of these things, who is saying what. You just have to understand they are saying that secularism and socialism was not there in the original constitution. It was added by 42nd constitutional amendment, and UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it. So you have to keep it in mind. And again, what these political leaders are saying, with what particular intention, we will not go there right now. Criticism of emergency, he's talking about emergency, what happened there, blah blah blah. You can read it in your free time. Let's focus on the things which are important. Questions whether socialism as an ideology is eternal or suitable, same thing has been asked about secularism, but with different words. And he's saying that we should have a debate on whether these words should be included in preamble or not. Now let's see some questions so that we can understand how UPSC can frame question. Let's solve this question. Asked by UPSC in 2021, PYQ, previous year question. What was the exact constitutional status of India on 26th January 1950? And based on, just remember, like they are basically asking you at the time of commencement of constitution, what was originally written in the preamble. And we have just discussed what was not there. So if you see preamble, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, but socialist and secular was not there originally. It was added. So at the time of commencement of constitution, 26 January, these two words were not there. Sovereign, democratic republic, it was there. Again, if you go back and if you see this preamble, the socialist and secular word added later on, sovereign, democratic republic. So the answer is B. Again, a good question, guys. If you don't solve these questions, you can make mistakes. Second most important article, state must announce cooperative policies by January 31. Cooperatives, what they are? people from similar background coming together for a common purpose. Amul is one cooperative, one very famous cooperative. So in 2021, government came up with Ministry of Cooperative, and Union Home Minister, sir, he is also Minister of Cooperatives. So please remember this: there was no Ministry of Cooperative earlier. It came into picture from 2021 because they want to ensure that in every village we have one cooperative, and this is actually a good thing. You cannot always criticize government, and this is actually a good thing. A national cooperative policy will be launched soon, effective from 25 to 45. They can directly ask you, national cooperative policy will be effective from which particular date to which particular date. So you have to keep that in mind. And then there are different ways of funding which happens when it comes to cooperatives. So there is PACS. Let's first of all talk about the three-tier model of funding when it comes to cooperatives and people at the lower level. Then we'll talk about all these things. Three-tier cooperative credit structure. So at the grassroots level, you have PACS. You have to know these words, guys. Scheduled commercial bank, regional rural banks. People know these things. But what is PACS? Primary Agricultural Credit Society. What does it mean? So this PACS, they give loans to farmers, and small and marginal farmers for small term, like small term loans they give it to farmers. Not only small and marginal, other categories of farmer also, but these are small term loans given to farmers. So these are PACS. What is state and how do these banks work? So SCB, they will give money to DCCB, district central cooperative banks. They in turn will give money to PACS, who in turn will give money to small farmers. It's not like small farmers can directly take money from SCB. Like we talk about finance agency. Let's say RBI is a finance, no, let's say Central Scheduled Commercial Bank is a finance agency. RBI is a refinance agency. Refinance agency means it will finance agency, RBI. Similarly, let's say LIC is an insurance agency. Agency which will insure LIC, that will be a reinsurance agency. So same way you can see here, PACS is a finance agency, and PACS is financed by DCCB, which is a refinance agency. State Cooperative Bank in turn finance DCCB, which is actually a finance agency again, if you can call it that. So hope you are understanding certain stuff. Farmers cannot directly borrow from DCCB or SCB. So these terms we should know how cooperatives will work at the lower level, because and whom PACS will give loan. What is the aim of this national cooperative policy? What is Amit Shah sir thinking about? The aim is to create 2 lakh primary agricultural credit society by February 2026. Manthan Batak happened. You can see all these things. Created 4 years ago. There was no Ministry of Cooperation before 2021. So keep it in mind. When was it created? Who is the minister right now? Minister of Home Affairs, Amit Shah sir. What is the aim? Somebody said heart of India lies in its villages, and if you want to develop villages, you have to develop these cooperatives, and in that regard it's a great way forward, a great step forward. Cool. So you can have a look at all the other points. Goal is to establish a cooperative in every village within 5 years. There was our former president, sir, Kalam sir, he talked about Pura, providing urban amenities to rural areas. Why should people migrate from rural to urban areas? Give them those facilities in rural areas only, because heart of India lies in its village. So in a way, cooperative, when we're establishing cooperative in every village within 5 years, it will ensure to a certain extent some amount of prosperity, and maybe Pura will be fulfilled, providing urban amenities to rural areas. Let's see how things pan out. UPSC has asked a mains question on Pura, which we'll discuss later on. For detailed analysis on these topics, you can always watch my Hindu analysis, which I do, as I've told you, live Monday to Saturday at 8 a.m. So three-tier cooperative credit structure, short-term credit, not long-term. Let's solve some questions so that we can remember whatever we have studied. Since I have OCD, so let me cross-check everything is working fine or not. It generally works fine, but yeah, nature and signature don't change. Oh my God, what the F am I saying? Nature and signature don't change. That's what I'm saying. So let's solve these questions. Whenever you're solving these questions, try to go for option elimination. Consider the following statement regarding Ministry of Cooperation, and read all statement, try to do option elimination, and that will help you in solving this particular question. Really good. Who's a good boy and girl? You people are. It is not currently headed by Ministry of Finance, Home Minister. So second is wrong. Now you're left with A and B. Aims to bring, this is a general statement, right? Ease of doing business with cooperative. So A is the answer, 1 and 3 only. Really good. MCQ, next MCQ. Which of the following statement is or are true about PSCs? This is a tough article, guys. This article which we just discussed is tough. Preamble article is fine. People generally know about it because it is more or less static, but this is a dynamic article. So have a look at this. Pause me right now and try to solve this question. Chepandi Cheputilsu Ledu Kadu. That means solve this. So PSC is they operate at village level. They provide long-term loans wrong. They provide short-term loans to farmers, not long-term loans. So second is wrong. Eliminate second, you will get the answer A1 and 3 only. Really, really, really good. So you don't need to know all the statements. If you do option elimination correctly, you'll be fine. Third article, 11th July 2025, Journal Council now engines of cooperation and not just discussion forum side. So Amit Shah sir, you are seeing here, there, everywhere. See here, Amit Shah sir. So now zonal council, interstate council. Whenever you're reading these kind of articles, do a parallel study. Hard work, smart work, parallel study. Parallel study means whenever you're reading, let's say PM, read CM at the same time. Whenever you are reading president, read governor at the same time. Oh my god. Whenever you are reading parliament, read state legislature at the same time. This is called parallel study. Same way here, when you're reading about zonal council, read interstate council at the same time. Zonal council, statutory body created by a state reorganization act, 1950s or 1954 something. Check it. What was the year? So it's a statutory body, unlike interstate, and headed by Ministry of Home Affairs, Amit Shah sir, who is also Ministry of Cooperation, which we have just discussed. Zonal council, interstate council, constitutional body created under Article 263, headed by Prime Minister. So remember these things. I will give you another example. NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, headed by MOEFCC, Ministry of Environment and Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and NBWL, National Board for Wildlife, headed by Prime Minister. So if you do parallel study, you will remember these things. And again, if I'm saying anything wrong, because I'm not God, I'm trying to be polymath, because I love to study things. But yes, I'm not God, so you can always say if I'm making any mistake, any error, because I'm doing extempo right now. So again, zonal cooperation councils, they're meeting often, which is a statutory body. But interstate council, which is headed by prime ministers, are under Article 263. They are not meeting enough because maybe Modi sir is too busy outside the country again. So zonal council meeting has happened. Modi sir, like Amit Shah sir, who is heading these zonal council, he is very happy. Then you have even like Northeastern Council, which has a separate act of its own. There are 5 zones, guys, five zonal council. This where the article which you're seeing is related to Eastern Zonal Council meeting. It means this is related to how resource allocation will be done between Jharkhand and Bihar. Public sector enterprises undertakings, how their money will be, or assets and liabilities will be divided. So all these talks are going on. They are meeting. The basic rationale of this article is a zonal council are meeting with significant results. That is not happening with the interstate council. So what should be done? There are 5 zonal council. You don't have to remember which state are there in which zonal council. If you want to, awesome, go ahead. But that is not the important thing. The important thing is zonal council, interstate council, read it at the same time, which is statutory, which is constitutional, which is headed by whom. So these are the things which are important. And then separate Northeastern Council under Northeastern Council Act. So keep these points in mind because these are very, very, very important facts. Oh my god. Difference between interstate council and zonal council. Interstate council, Article 263, constitutional body. Zonal council, statutory body, as we have discussed. In Northeastern Council, also statutory body. PM is the head, not meeting enough. There are talks, maybe home minister can become the head if interstate council are not meeting enough. Something has to be done about it. Otherwise, we are undermining a constitutional body, so to say. And you can see all these things. The meeting of interstate council are infrequent. Let's solve some question, guys, so that you can remember stuff in a much better manner. A question in front of you. Chepandi Cheputilsu Ledu Kadu. That means tell me the answer of this question slowly, 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 slowly. That means tell me fast. No. Which of the following is or are statutory bodies? Interstate Council is a constitutional body. Eliminate second. So you're left with A and B. Third, you have to check Northeastern, Zonal. Both of them are statutory bodies. B is the answer, guys. Really good. Pause me. Whenever you see the question, pause me. Which articles provides for establishment of interstate council? Some things I feel like even current affairs helps you in remembering stuff, static things like interstate council articles, etc. So the answer is A, 263. Really good. Next article, fourth most important article. So 25th June, and this article published on 26th June, and they decided that 25th June 1975 will be, or 25th June will be celebrated as Samvidhan Hatya Divas. To commemorate then words, I'm not laughing at anybody. I'm the biggest fan of Modi sir, and I feel like he's like some Andhbhakt says he's an avatar of Vishnu and all. I believe them all. And so it's just that the words they frame, Samvidhan Hatya Divas and all stuff, it feels somewhat, killed Samvidhan, killed Constitution Day, 50th anniversary, and they have time for all these things. We have so many problems in our country. Unemployment is at an all-time high. None of the schemes they pass have ever gets fulfilled. Bullet train, nowhere to be seen. What was other like smart city, all 100 city or whatever it was, have not become smart. Jal Jeevan mission delayed. Anything you take, they're always delayed. You will understand when you're doing current affairs. But they have time for this. Again, with due respect, June 25, 1975, or June 25, Samvidhan Hatya Divas they will celebrate. So emergency uh, provoked which, like, why invoked by which article? Article 352. On which pretext? Internal disturbance. And that's why 44th Amendment changed this word internal disturbance to armed rebellion. So these facts, keep it in mind, and these things will keep on happening. Why we have the government has so much time? Because Modi sir sleeps for only 4 hours, guys. So he has 20 hours, and in that he thinks about these words. Samvidhan Hatya Divas and all. So 2 minute silence was observed. Many people believe we are currently in an undeclared emergency, but I don't believe that because Modi sir can never do anything wrong. Samvidhan Hatya Divas and all. Again, not a joke. What is important from exam perspective? Emergencies in news so much, so which like which article is invoked. They can give you article 356, that is precedent rule. What is article 360, financial emergency? So why are these articles? You revise the static part. That is the basic rationale here. On what pretext even emergency was invoked, and so internal disturbance, what it has been changed to armed rebellion. So all these things you have to keep it in mind. And Modi sir is very angry that were these people who were curbing rights. We have so much freedom of speech and expression. Modi sir is giving media briefings almost every other day to protect and promote Indian democracy, so to say. And we are so proud of Modi ji for that. So again, dark chapter in democracy. He's talking about all these things, emergency and blah blah blah. You can read it in your free time. Let's move on and let's talk about important questions, because we are talking about these important articles from UPSC CSC prelims perspective. For detailed mains analysis, you can always watch my Hindu analysis, or maybe when mains will be near, I can make separate video for mains important articles. Let's focus on this question. Try to solve this. Pause me right now. I am like Shankar Mahadevan. I will keep on going breathless. कोई जो मिला था मुझे ऐसा लगा था that means somebody I found, and then I realized that my life is awesome. So emergency is not declared under 356. First is wrong. Now you're left with B and D. Check the fourth one. Emergency triggered not external aggression, guys. Internal disturbance. It has been replaced to armed rebellion now. So time and again, people will come, leaders will come who will try to misuse provisions. It's our duty as citizens to ensure that does not happen. So the answer here is B, 2 and 3 only. MCQ, which constitutional amendment was enacted to prevent future misuse of emergency power? In a way, they're trying to say, I will not say. You pause me and you try to solve this. 42nd Amendment did all these stuff. So to undo it, 44th Amendment came. So the answer is 44th Amendment. Let's talk about this article. Fifth article of the day. Let me cross check whether we are awesome or not. Che Pandi, Che Po. We are awesome, guys, as we always. Are we? Yeah. So fifth article, now this is a tricky article. Just like there was another tricky article which we have done, Ministry of Cooperatives and all. If you have not read it, it's difficult to solve questions related to that. Similarly, this PM Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. It's an umbrella scheme merging 36 schemes related to agrarian sector. This article I can easily put it in economy, but governance schemes. By that perspective, you can keep it in polity and governance as well. So when I'm saying polity articles, it is polity and governance, guys. And there is sometimes there will be a merger between polity and economy. So I will take 50 articles of economy. In that I will not take this because I have already taken it here. So PM Dhan Dhan Krishi Yojana, there are so many schemes related to farmers. They are merging it. Just like even take another example, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. There's one scheme related to education. Now, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan subsumes, or Shiksha Abhiyan rather, it subsumes so many other schemes, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan and all these schemes. So it's an umbrella scheme. Same thing goes with PM Dhan Dhan Krishi Yojana. So government is trying to increase productivity and blah blah blah, enhance agriculture productivity. Obviously, they will not try to decrease agriculture productivity, will they? When was it introduced? Union Budget 25-26. And what is the timeline? 6 years. Money. Have a look at money. Sometimes UPSC does ask some factual question. How many farmers it will benefit? Not one, not two. Oh my god, 1.7 crore. Oh my god. Look at this number. In our time, there was a uh, singer. You don't have to know anything about her. She's an adult singer, Nicki Minaj. Oh my God, look at that article, she used to say. So structural changes, integration of scheme, 36 existing schemes from 11 ministries merged into PM Dhanidhan Krishi Yojana. 100 districts to be selected. And again, their aim is to increase productivity because our productivity is very low. Ours is a very fragmented agriculture. Small and marginal farmer, they constitute around 86% of total farmers in India, according to agricultural census. And that means they have less than equal to 2 hectares of land. And that is very less. So maybe consolidation of land holdings, all these things will happen. And geographical coverage, at least one district from each state UT will be selected under this scheme. Share of now, these are the terms which are important. You know the basic thing about this scheme. Now focus on the keywords. Net cropped area. What is net cropped area? So let's say I have a land, 4 hectare land. 4 hectare land, I, you know, grew twice or I grew twice rice on it. So then my gross cropped area, GCA, will become 8 hectare, but my net cropped area in all these scenarios will be NC only. Even if I'm growing rice thrice, my gross cropped area will become 12 hectare, my net cropped area will remain 4 hectare. That is actually the land on which I'm working. Operational holding is how much land I have. And it's not about how much land I actually own plus leased. Let's try to understand. Let's say I have 4 hectare land which I have with me. I leased out, and apart from 4 hectare, I leased out. I took 2 hectare land from somebody else. I gave somebody 1 unit of land. So leased out 1 unit of land. Leased in, leased out. So I took 2 unit of land as, or hectare of land as lease, and gave 1 hectare of land leased out. So 4 plus 2 minus 1, that is 5 hectare is my operational holdings. It's not about the ownership, it's about working on it as well. If I'm leasing it, that will also be included in operational holdings. We'll solve some question, you will remember these things. So the focus is very broad. Like when you will read GS Mains paper 3, you will read about food processing sector, etc., cold storage, how much forward and backward linkages we need because there's so much enormous, or there's enormous food wastage. So all these things have also been taken care of here. Post harvest infrastructure, you can read all these things in your free time. You have an idea about what this PM Dhanyadhan Krishi Yojana is all about and how they'll be implementing it, what is the basic rationale, and how it will be planned out. You can read it in your free time. Let's solve some question so that we can remember stuff in a much better manner. There are some conceptual terms also here. It's more economy than polity, but again, it's a part of governance, it's a part of scheme. So what will be the net cropped area and gross cropped area in this particular case, guys? Net is always 4 hectare, but gross cropped area will change depending on how many times you're cultivating twice, thrice. So twice, so 8 hectare. So D is the answer, 4 hectare and 8 hectare. Very good. Which of the following correctly defines operational holding? What is the basic meaning of operational holding we have just discussed? What is operational holding? Cheppandi, Cheppu Telsu Ledu Kadu, guys. That means tell me something, something, something. Oh my god. So total land used for cultivation, whether owned, leased, or managed. Very good, sees the answer. Next article, sixth article. Parliament begins process for Justice Verma's impeachment. In like his house, burnt currency were found, and corruption, corruption, corruption. But the process of impeachment is very tough. And when it comes to process of impeachment, Supreme Court and High Court judges, one Article 124, 217, right? 124 for Supreme Court judges and 217 for High Court judges. So again, this article will also help you in revising static portion. But Justice Verma is in news time and again, so we have to keep him in, like, anything and everything related to judicial impeachment will become important. Will he be the first judge who will be impeached? Process has been initiated for so many other judges, but up until now nobody has been removed on this judicial impeachment scenario. We'll talk about all these things, we'll go there one by one, don't worry. But will he be the first judicially impeached judge? Let's see how it happens. And let's focus on this article. What has happened? So initially, let's say he has to be removed. So like there are so many criteria here, guys. This is not a single criteria. There are no, like, the multiple criteria involved here. So this news appeared in on 22nd July 2025. So we have to cover last 1 year current affairs. So what I'm see, understand one thing. So there'll be 4 parts for each of these 6 modules, and the last part 4 of each of these modules will come, I think, around 1 month before prelims, or maybe 1 month, 10 days, 40 days before prelims, because we have to cover current affairs at least 1 month before prelims. So all last part will come at the end, and then there will be a marathon. Let's see what happens, but hope you can understand how these things will pan out. So there will be 4 parts. Last part will be almost 40 days before pre, and then I will merge them all. There will be a marathon, and you can watch the marathon video as well for multiple revision, because repetition is the mother of learning, as somebody says. So process has started, and generally for these kind of impeachment, you need 100 members in Lok Sabha who is signing the notice, and 50 members in Rajya Sabha. And those conditions were satisfied, and 152 members in Lok Sabha signed, Rajya Sabha 63. So they satisfied the exclusive criteria, like signature from at least 100 Lok Sabha members or 50 Rajya Sabha members. After that, chairperson and the speaker, they can admit it, they can reject the motion. If they admit it, then there will be an inquiry committee which will be set up under Judges Inquiry Act 1968. It will comprise of three members: a Chief Justice of High Court, a senior Supreme Court judge, and a distinguished jurist. They must submit a report within 3 months, and even if it is submitted within 3 months, then there'll be a vote. Two-third majority of members present and voting plus 50% majority. It's very, very tough. Very tough. And all these provisions, some of these provisions are there in Article 124 for Supreme Court judges, 217 for High Court judges, and then more provisions are given in Judges Inquiry Act. How they can be removed? Through misbehavior and incapacity. Misbehavior you can understand, corruption, etc. Incapacity means, mental lack of mental soundness, if that is a word. I'm not mentally capable to carry on my duties. Like, I will tell you, give you one example. Like Nitish Kumar sir, we all love him. You may love him. I also may love him. So, like, he was very good. I don't know, leaving aside the fact that he keeps on changing parties, but who doesn't? Hemanta Biswa Sarma sir, he's changing parties in Assam. So everybody change parties. But the point is, currently he's at an age where he's doing certain stuff, which you may have seen in different public, means like YouTube channel, etc., which raises a question whether incapacity thing can be raised for him, whether he is mentally capable to be the CM of Bihar, or he is the CM of Bihar because there is no other option, just like, so incapacity, we can understand mentally whether you're sound or not. Many people are saying, I have no issues at all. I think everybody is so sound and so awesome. So procedure for impeachment outlined in Judges Inquiry Act, and then initiation. We have discussed this, but why you're seeing it again? Because this is actually important. There are so many things. 100 MPs Lok Sabha, 15 Rajya Sabha. They can change the number, submit it to Lok Sabha, Speaker Lok Sabha, and Chairman Rajya Sabha. They can admit or refuse. If they admit it, then there will be a inquiry committee, which we have discussed. Supreme Court Judge, Chief Justice of High Court, distinguished jurist. Inquiry will submit a report, and then two-third members present and voting, 50% of total membership of each house, and then when they pass it, President can issue an order for removal. Very, 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 very tough process. Very tough. It's like, So, but let's see what happens. Follow this case, guys. Follow this case. So now let's solve some questions so that you can remember stuff in a much better manner. Chepandi, Cheputan Ledu, Kadu, guys. Oh my god. What is the answer of this question? And try to do option elimination, you will do just fine. So we know this is wrong. 50 like members in Rajya Sabha, 100 in Lok Sabha. So this is interchange, right? So second you eliminate, you're left with A and C. So check the third one. Third is correct, so the answer is A. 1 and 3 only. Which of the following, again easy, 124.4 and Article 217. Very good. Next article, seventh most important article for polity and governance. Che So, what does the new Online Gaming Act outline? So, this whole thing, earlier people were like, we are investing 49 rupees in, there were so many gaming apps. What was the name of the gaming apps? I've even forgotten. I have also invested money, guys, at one time. Rupees 49 they used to invest, rupees 51 they used to earn. All those things used to happen. But now, there are like, government has banned these online gamings, but this is not as straightforward. There are three segments of online games that you have to understand, and you also have to understand which one government has banned. So let's first of all focus. Three types of online games: e-sport, like Call of Duty, and all these things; social gaming, Candy Crush, Ludo. So these are social gaming. And then the third one, real money games: poker, rummy, fantasy, cricket, and Ludo, and Dream 11. Yes, there I made a team. Make a dream on Dream 11. Everybody, every sports star and every creator is, and celebrity is promoting it. These were the real money games which has been banned. Because, and social games, in fact, government is promoting social game by, taking out money from Consolidated Fund of India under Article 266, because they feel like when you play these games, Candy Crush, Ludo, etc., in a way your social skills are developing. The kids, or oh my god, kids social skills are developing. So they're promoting only social gaming out of the three. Esports is allowed. This Call of Duty GTA is allowed, but they have to register, require registration under regulatory authority. The ban thing is this one. Ban extends to advertisements as well, real money games. So no Ranveer Kapoor and Amir Khan can come together and Dream 11, but team will have Dream 11. All these things will not happen now. So now you understood some part of it. Now let's see what this article is saying. Passed by Lok Sabha and cleared by Rajya Sabha. I even made one. I was working in another institution. I made video on this Dream 11 whether it will be banned, and people were like, "No, it will never be banned." In the comment section, they were like, "No, they're very powerful people who are running Dream 11. They're very close to government, etc." But it has indeed been banned. Oh my God! So Indian lose around, and this is, there's so many people who are spending their 49 rupees to earn 51 rupees. Compulsive behavior, financial hardship, all these things happen. Karnataka, 32 suicides. You can see here what is happening here. Even money laundering was done via these streaming portals, and that's why government said it is necessary to ban RMG's real money games. But then there is one fundamental right, which is under Article 19. What is that fundamental right? This one, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause G, right to trade and occupation. So there are many people who believe that these industries, these gaming companies, they will go to Supreme Court and they will say that it violates our fundamental right under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause G. So let's see how things pan out. But let's go back and let's see this article in detail. You understood the basic rationale of this article. Now we're just going into the intricacies of this article, which you can also read in your free time. And penalties and regulations, 3 years imprisonment, 1 crore fine, all these things. So it's very strict. Acts allocates funds from consolidated fund to promote social gaming. As we have discussed, Candy Crush, Ludo, they help kids to develop, it inculcates social etiquettes in these kids. So that's why Act is allocating fund from CFI, Consolidated Fund. Now there is your homework for you, and that's how you read stuff, guys. So when you're reading Consolidated Fund, Article 266, read about public account, read about contingency fund, and revise all these things. Really, really, really good. Contingency fund. Read about which articles, who is managing it, how much money is there in where, like in which particular account, and then they're talking about what is the rationale and why it has been banned. Critics argue Act has weak enforcement mechanism despite strict intent. Intent is the key. We are very good in announcing stuff, but implementation will be the key. Several states have already banned online gaming. You can see all these things. Supreme Court stands. Earlier, Supreme Court was like, no, no, it requires some amount of skill, etc. But now let's see what happens. Supreme Court may intervene to protect industry, but we have to wait and watch. Let's solve some questions so that you can remember stuff. And don't get, flustered by the number of statements which is there in a particular question. If you have 4 statements, don't get flustered by it. Try to solve this question. Chepandi చెప్పుతెలుసు లేదు కాదు. So Act recognizes 3 categories of online games, correct. So eliminate second. RMGs are banned under the Act, irrespective, yes, correct. So second is correct. Now you lifted A and you just check fourth one. Social gaming is defined, there's no strict age restrictions. In fact, government is very enthusiastic about social gaming. They're taking out money from CFI to protect it. So fourth is wrong, means to promote it rather. So A is the answer, 1, 2 and 3. Try to do option elimination as much as possible. With reference to categories of online games, try to solve this question also. Social gaming, esports, what is the answer? So we know not both esports and social gaming receive budgetary support. Only social gaming receive budgetary support from means Consolidated Fund of India, not esports. So third is wrong. Your answer is A, 1 and 2 only. Very, very, very good. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. Make me popular. You can also enroll in these Mission UPSC program. If you want these PDFs, the 6 modules, you can also get it at 199 per module. So what you will get? Let's say you want polity modules. So you will get 4 parts of polity. So there will be one PDF which where nothing will be written. Like I'm writing a lot of stuff, right? So this is called annotated PDF. So you will get 8 PDFs for polity. So same way for 6 modules, every module you will get 8 PDFs, 4 parts, and each part 2 PDFs. One part without me writing anything over it, and the second will be the annotated PDF where I'm also writing all these stuff. So all these things you'll be getting 199 per module. You can, whenever you're sending me a WhatsApp message, you can send me a message. You need module for what? Polity, economy, environment, or you need all these modules. So you can buy these courses also. History to NCRT series. I've made lots of shorts and all those stuff, and like personalized mentorship program, means answer evaluation. If you want me to evaluate your answer, you can join these courses, or you can also take this bundle. UPSC Lifetime Success Bundle at 6,999, where you will get all these things. You don't have to pay for mentorship every year. Everything will be included till the time you crack UPSC CSE. So it has lifetime validity. There's no, a repayment or monthly or yearly or annual subscription. There's nothing like this. All these things you will get, and let's say in future I launch some more course under this bundle, you will get that also without any additional payment. So you can take either this bundle thing or you can take any individual module. It's totally your call. How do you want to enroll in it? And again, if you feel like I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can also donate. Now let's talk about the eighth most important article for from you know polity and governance perspective for UPSC CSE 2026. It's tough, man. When you are talking like in a unidirectional manner, like I am doing right now, when you have offline classes, then you interact with students. So here, sometimes you need to take a breather. FTs, foreigner tribunals can issue arrest warrants, send foreigners to detention center. So Assam's foreigner tribunals, their power has been extended. That's what this article is talking about. These foreigner tribunals, they're created under Article 323B. This is the part which you have to keep in mind. Tribunals are created under 323A and 323B. 323A is for you people, future civil servants, for looking into your case. But because when you become civil servant, you will have so many enemies, and so for that there are, if you keep on fighting only cases, when will you do the work, right? So you have cat and sat, central administrative tribunals, state administrative tribunals, who will look into cases against you under Article 323. And then 323B is for specific purpose, like you have NGT, National Green Tribunal, you have these foreigner tribunals and all those stuff under Article 323 Clause B. This article is just telling that foreigner tribunals power has been increased. They can detain, they can do this and that. In like, it's for all the foreigner tribunals, but basically they're working in Assam only. So the new orders applies across India, but currently foreigner tribunals functions only in Assam. So that's why it is mainly applied to Assam, or mainly applicable for Assam. I was in Assam. It's a very charged state, guys. Very awesome state, but this is a very delicate issue. Incursion of Bangladeshi into people into Assam. And yeah, you can have a look at this article. The main thing which is very important from exam perspective here is tribunals. 323A administrative tribunals for you people, government servants, civil servants, CAT and SAT. And all these NGT, foreigner tribunals, income tax tribunal, all these tribunals are created under 323B for specific purpose, specialized tribunals. So keep these points in mind. They can ask you, foreigner tribunals is created under 323A. That will be wrong. It is created under 323B. Oh my God, B. They have quasi-judicial powers similar to Supreme Court and High Court, but not exactly same. Now let's try to solve this particular question. MCQ. Which of the following tribunals are covered under Article 323 Clause B of the Constitution? Very good. చెప్పండి చెప్పదలుసు లేదు కాదు guys. So the answer is all of them. Income tax, appellate, national green, foreigner, we have just discussed. You can have a look at the previous slide. Next article, ninth most important article, 16th Finance Commission. Their recommendation will be applicable from 2026 till 2031. Apply from April 1, 2026. And this article is saying that currently, let's say 100 rupee money or divisible pool we talk about. Divisible pool means what? So center has 100 rupees, it will be shared among center and state. So 41 rupees goes to states and 59 remains with center. This is divisible pool. There are something which is beyond divisible pools, cess and surcharge. All these money goes to center. So this article is saying that this 41% should be increased to 50%, because anyway center has taken away taxation power of states after the implementation of GST and all. So please, even the BJP rule ones are saying that please increase our tax, like money and the value base. Center is not very happy, and all these things will be, and plus southern states have other issues. What other issues centers other means southern states have? So currently 15th Finance Commission recommendation is going on. Population 2011 has 15% weightage. Population 1971 has been removed. So Finance Commission means southern states are saying that, or feeling that the states which has higher population, they are the ones who are getting more money. And that should not be the case. If you have stabilized your population, you should be rewarded for it rather than being penalized. So to appease certain sentiments, government introduced this demographic performance. So 15th Finance Commission introduced this demographic performance, that if you have taken efforts to stabilize your means population, you will be rewarded for it. So, but this article is saying that GST has taken over taxation power. Southern states are not very happy with this population criteria and all those stuff. There was one article in the analysis I was doing, which says that in Finance Commission there should also be a hazard criteria, guys. Coastal states, every year they face some hazards or the other, and it impacts them so much. Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, etc. So there should be some hazard criteria as well, rather than these criteria which mainly benefits the Bimaru states. I am from one of those Bimaru states, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. So all these things have been talked about in this article. What is very important for you people to remember these criteria, and then there are terms. Horizontal devolution, vertical devolution. You have to understand these terms. So here the talks is like for 41%, 50%. There are talks. One is vertical devolution. What is vertical devolution? How much money will be devolved between center and state? That is vertical devolution. Center state, how much money will be devolved? And then there is horizontal devolution. How much money will be devolved between states? That is horizontal at the same level. These words you will see a lot. So yeah, and vertical devolution, horizontal devolution, and these criteria which we are seeing, income, distance, and all, these are horizontal devolution criteria. If you see this again, how money is divided among states. Income distance is, let's say, per capita income of a state, difference between per capita income of a state with per capita income of a state which has highest GSDP, let's say Goa. So that difference, the poorer you are, the more money you will get. Again, favoring the poorer north states or northern states, so to say. It has a great weightage, 45%, guys. Although it has been reduced from 50 to 45, but still it's a big number. So you can see why southern states are not very happy with how financial devolution is done under Finance Commission, and they want it to be increased to 50%. Not only southern, almost 22 states want it to be increased. Dependence, GST thing we have discussed, inequity in horizontal devolution. Current formula gives high weightage to population income distance, which is viewed by better performing, mostly southern states, as punishing efficiency. We have discussed that as well. Center reluctance, center is saying that there are already so many things we have to spend on defense, China, Pakistan, capital projects, so we cannot increase much. But 41% is not the way. There should be middle ground. If not 50, at least increase it to 45% as middle path, visa lane, Buddhism, eightfold path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation, or right concentration. So there has to be a middle ground, which has to be, because that will only promote federalism, cooperative, whatever you want to call it. And horizontal distribution formula can be better. So let's see what formulas 16th Finance Commission comes with, and what happens then. Arvind Panagaria is heading it. Let's try to solve this question. The term income distance, what is the meaning here? So the answer is the gap between per capita income of a state and that of the richest state. C. And again, if I'm giving any answer wrong, guys, because I'm not looking at anything and everything, I can be wrong. So you can write in the comment section the answer of this is this. Please check, sir, whatever you want to call it. So 15 Finance Commission criteria, and this has been asked in pre as well as main. So this is very important. So population 1971 is not a criteria. So eliminate second, or second is only here. Now you're left with all the other three are criteria. So 134 A is the answer. Income distance, tax effort, forest and ecology. Next article, 10th article of the day. We still have 4 articles to go. And yes, let's do it. So, Article 311. What is Article 311 all about? So, it protects central and state civil servants from, like, there is a due process by which they can be removed. To protect them, we have Article 311, so that they are not removed any which way. But there are some exceptions in which scenario they can be removed, they can be sacked without any proper inquiry, this and that, when they are a threat to national security, when governor or president deems fit, and then there are some other scenarios. So there are exceptions under Article 311, but more or less it protects civil servants from state, center as well as state. Jammu Kashmir Lieutenant Governor dismissed 2 government employees. Why invoking the exception clause of Article 311? There was no inquiry, nothing happened, because they were supposed to be involved in anti-national activities. What are these exceptional clauses under Article 311 where inquiry will not be needed? When inquiry is not reasonably practicable in the interest of security of the state, when president is or governor is satisfied, holding inquiries against national security, when employee is convicted of criminal offense involving moral turpitude. Moral turpitude means something which is morally wrong. Anything you can keep it here. Rape, you can keep corruption, all those things are part of moral turpitude rather. So all these three, you can see second and the first options apply to this scenario. The dismissals were carried out under Article 311, special provision, exceptions. They can ask you Article 311 is associated with what? Anyway, articles are important from every exam perspective, especially UPSC. So these like Khurshid Ahmad Rathir and Siyad Ahmad Khan, they have been removed. Since the amended provision exception has been introduced a lot, 77 government employees have been terminated by LG from since 1920. No, not since 2020 rather, 1920. Now this is a thing which you have to look at. This is an exceptional clause, guys. Terminating 77 employees is actually a big number. Exception means you don't need to have inquiry, you can remove them. But exception means exception. It should be used exceptionally. Is it used exceptionally when you're terminating 77 government employees? That's a question we should ask ourselves and we should ask government. Let's solve some question. Which of the following best explains the objective of Article 311? Try to solve based on whatever we have just discussed. Cheppandi, Cheppathu Ledu, Kahadu guys. So the answer is to provide civil servant with security of tenure while allowing government to act in matters of security and discipline. This is the best option. Next article, 11th articles published on like Hindu on 1st September 2025. Importance of India's federal design. This article is talking about how Supreme Court has time and again stated government to restore statehood of Jammu and Kashmir. Why? Because if you see how states are created, there are three ways: admission, establishment, and formation. Admission, Jammu and Kashmir admitted in 47. This is one way, guided by international law. Establishment, when you are acquiring territories, Goa, Sikkim made 22nd state via 36th Constitutional Amendment Act. So this is one way. And third is when you're reorganizing state. But when you're reorganizing state, that will still be a state. You cannot convert a state into union territory. That's what happened with Jammu and Kashmir. A state has to be a state. If you are changing Jammu and Kashmir, you can change the boundaries, etc. But it has to be a state. There is no provision in the constitution, etc., where it is stated that you can convert a state to union territory. So it undermines federalism. And this article is saying that federalism is a part of basic structure. Restoration of J&K statehood is like mandatory because it is going against the fabric of constitution. Nowhere it is written in the constitution that you can convert a state into a union territory. So, and again, center like Supreme Court has given directive to center that you restore statehood as soon as possible. And court is like, we are helpless. We cannot ourselves restore statehood because there's something called a separation of power. We can just check constitutionality of laws and executive orders, making law, implementing law. This is making law is the work of legislature, implementing law is the work of executive. So they have to restore statehood. We can only check the constitutionality. We can only ask them. And maybe Supreme Court can do somewhat more, but here they're saying this in Zahoor Ahmad Bhatt versus Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Petitioner is saying that non-restoration of statehood affects citizens' right, it violates federalism, which is a part of basic structure enunciated in, like basic structure came from Keshwanand Bharti judgment. 1973. But whenever you are talking about basic structure, which is explicitly mentioned in your GS means paper 2, you have to talk about SGK MW. 5 cases: Shankari Prasad, Golaknath, Keshwanand Bharti, Minerva Mills, and Vaman Rao case. Have a look at their dates. From these cases, basic structure has evolved. There's still no standard definition of basic structure. It is still evolving. So yes, can we convert a state into union territory? The answer is no. If you have any other opinion on it, feel free to share it in the comment section. You can also state how many questions you got correct out of the total questions which we have solved. India is a union of state. We are a federal state with strong unitary bias based on Canadian model, but still we are a federation. Although we know we call ourselves a federation, in Article 1 we are a union of state. Federalism is a part of basic structure doctrine according to different Supreme Court judgment. We have a Rajya Sabha which ensures continuous state representation. So all in all, if federalism is a part of basic structure, if you cannot convert a state into union territory, then restoring J&K statehood is essential to protect federalism. Otherwise, every word will only remain in constitution. It will lose its meaning. So December 2023 only Supreme Court has given a judgment which was like, yes, you can abrogate Article 370 and all, but you restore J&K statehood and conduct assembly election. They did conduct election, but they have not yet restored statehood. So in a way, it's like even government these days don't take Supreme Court seriously, and that is a dangerous situation for our country, guys. If executive starts undermining judiciary, I was just we were talking about Pakistan, what is happening there, 27th amendment, this and that, how their executive, etc., they're undermining judiciary. And so not good for our country if judiciary is undermined. So we have to look into that. 36th constitutional amendment is related to what I have told you this. The answer is statehood to Sikkim. 12th article, two more articles to go. Oh my god, I'm losing my breath. But let's do it. Jal Jeevan mission. There is a delay here, and this is not the only mission which is having delay. I was teaching students about Samudrayan, where we are going manned mission, deep sea manned mission, and all. That is also delayed. Everything is delayed. Who is accountable for these delays? Nobody. Nobody is accountable in like current government. Okay, so Jal Jeevan mission, it has been delayed. It was supposed to supply piped water to rural households by 2024, but now it has been extended till 2028. So Union Jal, again remember, rural household, not urban household. Union Jal Shakti Ministry cited increased demand, insufficient groundwater as key reason for delay in Jal Jeevan Mission. Like when delay happens, should these ministry take a pay cut and all? Who is responsible? Somebody has to take accountability, guys. If nobody is accountable, how will a government run, like country run properly, man? When will we become a Vishwaguru and all those stuff? Or have we already become a Vishwaguru? No, Narendra Modi sir announced all rural households will receive a piped water connection by 2024. Now, Nirmala Sitaraman ma'am is saying that no, they will receive it by 2028. At that time only six. No, if you take it in a positive way, the number of connections have actually increased, piped connection. And why piped water connection is important to rural households? Because they're drinking water from, let's say, some reservoir or something like that, or they don't have proper water supply, then it can lead to diarrhea and all the other things. So ma'am is saying that, Nirmala Sitaraman ma'am, that it has been extended to 2028. Let's extend it to 2047 when we will become a Viksit Bharat. Because we know it will again be extended in 2028. So 4 crore, but additional households were added to the target post March 2024. But this 4 crore additional households, they are not getting reflected in the website of this Jal Jeevan mission. So maybe later on there will be. So groundwater is inadequate, and now piped water connection has to be taken from rivers and lakes and all. We need more infrastructure. So there is, and then contractor mistake and all those stuff has happened. But good thing, 80% rural households, 15.6 crore, they have been provided piped water connection. So it's a good news. It's a silver lining, right? So since 2019, government has spent 3.6 lakh crore. How much? Okay, you can see all these numbers. So, and despite JJM, what is the aim? 55 liter per person per day they have to provide, not to urban areas, every rural household. Tap water connection, much cleaner and much more, like much better for the health of the rural people and like kids in particular, but people in general. Consider the following statement regarding Jal Jeevan Mission and try to use option elimination, try to solve these questions. Chepandi. So it's not all urban. Urban is not rural. So first is wrong. You're left with B and D. Second is correct. So B2 only. 13th. For part 1, this is the last article. We still have 3 parts to go for polity. Cabinet linked, note known or note to job linked incentive scheme. I think this was asked by EPFO also, UPSC EPFO 2025. So employment linked incentive ELI scheme government has announced 90, almost 100,000 or like 99,446. 100,000 crore you can say for employment generation. Many people are like, it's just government giving money to employers. The employers will receive incentive for 2 years for creating additional jobs, so they will get some money. And like basically this production linked incentive scheme. So increment. Just give me a second, guys. Hello, hello. Yeah. So there is a what I was saying. There is a production linked incentive scheme. So in that scenario, what happens if companies are producing more, they will get some incentive from government. Same thing with employment linked incentive. If employers are giving more jobs, then they will get some incentive, some money from government. So that is how this ELI scheme will work, and it will work for like major like secondary sector, but it's not like it is only for manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector is the like they are getting incentive for other sectors will be for 2 years, and for manufacturing sector it will be for 4 years. That's what they are saying. First time employees, they will receive 1 month wage up to 15,000 as incentive. But the thing is, employers will only get incentive when if they're giving employment for at least 6 months to these employees. So employment linked incentive scheme aims to create over 3.5 crore jobs. And you can see all the numbers. Employees earning up, they can ask you, employees earning below 15,000 per month are eligible? No. Up to 1 lakh per month, if you're earning, you are eligible to be a part of this particular employment linked incentive scheme. Employees will be incentivized up to 3,000 per month per new employee. Oh my God. So let's say I run a company, I give job to 10 people, I will get 30,000 rupees from government. But employees, these guys, I have to give them employment for at least 6 months. So all these are criteria. ELI scheme part of broader 2 lakh crore package, out of which 1 lakh has gone to this ELI only, right? Around 1 lakh, and it includes 5 schemes. You can see all these things. PM Narendra Modi sir is saying that, oh my God, Achhe Din has already come. And Labour Minister sir is very happy because unemployment is a very, very big issue in our country right now, guys. You people know it, I know it. Gudi media doesn't talk about it, but we should talk about it. Trade unions are saying that it's just a way of government giving money to employers, and nothing else. But let's see how things pan out. Implementation is the key, as it is the key always when it comes to these schemes. So what is the answer, guys? Again, try to solve this question, try to use option elimination. Second is wrong. Salaries up until 1 lakh. So second wrong. If you just know second wrong, you get the answer one only. Why it is not applicable? It is applicable for other sectors also. For manufacturing sector for 4 years, for other sector for 2 years. So that's why third is also wrong, and the answer is A, one only. Very good. ELI scheme is part of package targeting what? What is the best option here? Skill development and employment generation. Really, really, very good. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. Make me popular. You can join this Telegram channel. I share Hindu analysis PDF every day by 9:30 a.m. here, and that will become a good habit of yours if you follow it. And as I've told you, you can get these modules at 199 per module. There will be 6 modules. Polity is one of those 6 modules, and you can also join these courses individually. Also, you can join these courses, and you can also join them in a bundle, which is actually it totally up to you, where you don't have to pay anything ever again. This is one time payment, and you will get access to all these courses plus the other courses which I'll be launching in future here. Let's say for means, I'll launch 50 most important current affairs for UPSC means. That will be included here. You don't have to pay for it. I'm just giving you an example. So yes, what I was saying, so it's totally up to you which course you opt for. And for any queries related to these courses, you can always send me a WhatsApp message at 9650303257. You are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody. Keep that in mind. If you feel like, again, I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can also donate. Every single contribution matters. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you. Take care. Be blessed. I will see you people soon. Hello everyone. చెప్పండి చెప్పు తెలుసు లేదు కాదు. If you can understand the meaning of that phrase, awesome. Otherwise, it's also fine. There's no meaning of that phrase. So we will talk about 50 most important current affairs, polity and governance, part 2. Whoa. And again, these are all standalone parts. You can watch like first 13 most important current affairs we have discussed in part 1, and we are continuing from there in part 2. My name is Shubh Saga. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. I share Hindu analysis, which I do Monday to Saturday, which I try to upload by 9 a.m. every day, between 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So, and I upload PDF of that Hindu analysis every day by 9 p.m. on this Telegram channel. So you can join this Telegram channel so that you can become disciplined with your current affairs. Oh my good, guys. So 14th most important current affairs. See, these are all standalone articles, and 14 does not mean in the hierarchy this is at the 14th number. No, all 50 articles are equally important. So what is this whole thing? During the Bihar election, 4th September 2025, Tejasvi Yadav, he said that if he's brought to power, which he did not come to power, he would increase reservation to 85%. That raised a question about reservation or a positive affirmation in India, which is guaranteed under exceptions under like Article 15 and 16, mostly under Article 15 and 16 of Indian Constitution. Currently, how much reservation we have at center? Percentage vary from state to state. In center, you have 59.5%. Earlier, it was 49.5% before EWS came into picture, and now it is 59.5%. Supreme Court is talking about, like, within ST community, you have one Meena community in Rajasthan, which gets or which occupies a lot of seats in ST community. Similarly, so they are asking whether there should be a creamy layer system for SC and ST or not, just like you have a creamy layer for OBC. So these talks and discussions are going on, and they are important talks and discussions that it will bring into picture different kind of judgments, and then we'll see which kind of pre-questions can be framed on them. Very important, very sensitive also. Balaji versus Mysore, reservation must be reasonable, capped at 50%. So it's an exception to equality, and it should be an exception rather than a norm. In current day and age, it has become a norm. Indra Sani ma'am, she upheld 27% OBC quota. Mandal Commission, they came up with this, but she introduced this particular judgment came up with creamy layer for OBCs. Remember, they can directly ask you which of the following judgment introduced creamy layer for OBC. Indra Sani judgment of 1992 reaffirmed 50% ceiling except in special case. Janit Habyan, this whole particular case came after EWS 10% quota was given to economically weaker section, even within general community, and it ruled that no, 50% cap is only for backward classes. Social discrimination. EWS is economic criteria, so this 50% ceiling does not apply to EWS. Many people even debate whether we should have an economic criteria for reservation, because economic criteria is a transient criteria. You may be poor today, you may not be poor tomorrow, but if you have been socially discriminated 10 years back, there's a very high chance that your family will be socially discriminated today also. Fahiyan, Chandragupta, Doma, Chandalas, Badhataus. There are so many references which we have read in previous day and age book, how this whole Varna system came into picture. Punjab and Davinder Singh, judges urged government to consider creamy layer within SC/ST reservation also. As we have discussed, Meena community, Assam community, but many people feel within STs they have got a dominant representation. What about other STs communities? We'll talk about this. Ambedkar sir also talked about reservation is necessary, but we must be limited to minorities. Pro-reservation expansion has happened. Backward communities are saying that, let's say we are more than 60% of the population, so our reservation should be matching that proportion share or population share rather, and that's why we need a caste census, which will happen in census 2027, where if backward classes are 60% of a particular population of a state, so in the state reservation system, maybe they should get 60% reservation. Practical issues, 40-50% of reserve seats remain vacant in central government jobs. So sometimes what happens, these SC, ST, etc., if there are talks related to introducing creamy layer within SC, ST, if that happens, currently many seats in these reserve portions, especially SC, ST, they remain vacant and then they are converted to unreserved. So if this creamy layer is introduced, maybe that thing will increase more. Reserve seats vacancy or the vacant reserve seats will increase more. You will understand each and everything. Just be with me. We'll solve some questions. You will remember each and every fact. This is basically a tricky article. The other articles which you will see after this will be much easier. So Rohini Commission, 97% of OBC quota benefits taken by 25% of OBC subcaste. As we have discussed in STs, Meena is considered ST in Rajasthan. In some regions, they are also considered as OBCs. So 1,000 OBC subcaste, they have zero representation. So in OBC also, you see why there is a need for subcategorization. Similar benefit concentration exists in SC/ST reservation also. One, two dominant communities, they are occupying most of the SC or SC seats. So no creamy layer exclusion for SC/STs. Debate is ongoing whether we should have, just like we have creamy layer for OBC, should we have a creamy layer for SC/STs or not? It's not basically targeting Meenas and all. I love Meenas. There's so many good friend of mine who are Meenas, but yeah. Argument against creamy layer for SC/ST, as we have just discussed, there are anyway many vacant reserve posts which are later on converted into unreserved posts. So if you again introduce one more categorization within SC/ST, that is creamy layer concept, then it will lead to more vacancies, because less people will be able to fill form in that reserve category. More vacancy means, again, you are just going away from the whole concept which you aspired for. You want to fill these reserve posts. You don't want to keep them vacant, right? So many reserve posts remain unfulfilled and unfulfilled. So creamy layer exclusion may increase backlog. Risk of backlog vacancies being converted to unreserved seats, reducing ST/ST opportunities. So we have to think about it, whether we actually need a creamy layer within SC/ST or not. Way forward, raising reservation to 85%, as Tejasvi Yadav was saying. Tejasvi was only saying, right? Yeah, leader of opposition Bihar. So it's violate right to equality of opportunity. Think about general category, guys. I am a general category student. Give all seats to, like, reserve all the seats. Then again, there has to be a limit somewhere. Some line has to be drawn somewhere. After 2027 census, which will include caste data, we can have discussions to fix suitable reservation levels. Subcategorization, as Rohini Commission was saying, do we need that? Among OBC is necessary. They are also in OBCs. There are certain categories which is hogging most of the seats. For SC/ST, two-tier system, prioritize the most marginalized within these groups. So again, you can read all these things. Only reservation will not do. Skill development, employability, all these things have to be taken care of. This is from mains perspective. Let's focus on pre perspective. This is 50 most important current affairs for P. Polity and governance. Which of the following articles empower the state to make provision for reservation? Mainly, you have to choose the best option, guys. Oh my god, look at that question, as Nicki Minaj would say. No Nicki Minaj songs for you people, you're less than 18 years. Nicki Minaj is only for older people. So B, like 2 and 3. B, 2 and 3. Wow, guys, serious. Which of the following correctly represent total reservation percentage of reservation at the center? 59.5% C. Wow, guys. Which of the following arguments are commonly advanced against the app? This is a good question. Pause me whenever you're seeing this question. As somebody used to say in Chattanu, it's Manu too. Your question is a good question, but your question hurt me. So this is a good question. Pause me and try to solve it. What is the rationale given against the application of creamy layer for SC and ST? Large number of reserve posts remain vacant. Exclusion of creamy layer may increase backlog. Backlog vacancies may eventually be converted to yes. All the 3 points. There are anyway so many vacant seats, reserve seats, and if you introduce another layer inside SC/ST reservation, the seats vacancy will increase, reserve seats vacancy, or the vacant reserve seats rather, and that will later on be converted into unreserved seats. So the whole premise of giving reservation to SC/ST will fail in that regard. So D is the answer. Yes, all of the arguments are commonly advanced. Which of the following judgments introduced the concept of creamy layer in India? Creamy, Britannia cream biscuit. No. So this is creamy layer. So the answer is Indra Sani, 1992. Whoa, guys. Next article, 15th most important article, 13. We have done in part one. Whoa, guys. Let me pause for the movement. So, accept Aadhaar as identity proof. Just again, 9 September 2025, when Bihar election was going on, Sir was going on special in this whole intensive revision exercise, and they were not accepting Aadhaar. They were accepting 11 documents, and election commission was like, Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship; it is a proof of residency. Then Supreme Court was like, dude, whatever 11 documents you are using or accepting as proof, most of those documents are not conclusive proof of citizenship. So if you're accepting those 11 documents, why are you not accepting Aadhaar? So this to and fro discussion, how good or bad is Sir special intensive revision, we'll talk about it. But more important than that is, what is Aadhaar? Once your Aadhaar is there, can it be deactivated or deleted? Yes. Once you die, it will be deleted, and it can be changed also. So first, these things are important. UPSC has already asked PYQ on Aadhaar, and then we will go and see the whole argument. 12-digit unique identification number issued by UIDAI, that is Aadhaar, your fingerprint iris scan. And this is actually very sensitive data, because I cannot have two fingerprint, two iris scan, right? It's unique to me, right? Enrollment is voluntary, but Aadhaar has become a wide, like, what is voluntary? Many people believe that government has pressurized people to go for Aadhaar, just like they did things for demonetization. I will not go there. So it is a has statutory backing. Aadhaar Act 2016, targeted delivery of blah, blah, blah. So do remember, it has a statutory backing. It is 12-digit unique identification number, and these things are important. Aadhaar is only recognized as proof of residency identity. It is not a proof of citizenship. Just like you have birth certificate, you have passport, they are proof of your citizenship. Aadhaar is a proof of your residency. You live in India. So that's why Election Commission was not accepting Aadhaar as a proof that you should be allowed to vote. Then Supreme Court was like, no, allow. 12th indicative document, it will be for inclusion and exclusion of people. And they are saying that the existing 11 documents which you're using as a proof, they're also not, most of them or many of them are not conclusive proof of citizenship either. So if you accept them, why don't you accept Aadhaar? Accept it, man. And this to and fro discussion happened. People are anyway very much perturbed by this Aadhaar means Sir thing and special intensive revision. Not that this is bad, yes, it is good, but the way it is being conducted, and there is so much non-uniformity associated with Sir. In Bengal they're doing other way, in Bihar they did other way. Again, we'll talk about Sir in one separate article, don't worry. So senior advocate Rakesh Dwivedi, you can read all these things. 19, and he was saying that people stated no political parties have reported errors in search process. Again, this is the advocate standing for election commission. So what he will say? All political parties have reported errors in search process. He will not say that, right? How many people have been excluded? Now, this is one argument which you can use in means, not in pre right now. That election commission work is to ensure a universal adult franchise under Article 326, right to vote. The work is not to ensure people are not getting right to vote, disenfranchisement, or not to ensure who is a citizen of India or not. There are other machineries to ensure or to check who is a citizen of India, who is citizen of, or who is not a citizen of India. You have Ministry of External Affairs, Defense. There are different departments within that, but there is no entity in India which will ensure universal adult franchise other than ECI. So the ECI's work is positive to ensure people can vote, not to ensure who cannot vote. That is, or who is not a citizen of India. Citizenship proof should not lie with ECI. That is a debate which is going on. Then you have other entities to look into that. Chepandis, Chepo, guys. No Chepandis, Chepo, I will kill you or and eat your life. Hey. So you can read all these points in your own free time. You know what is important here. This thing, Aadhaar, statutory backing. It can be deleted, Aadhaar. It is not a proof of citizenship. Remember these facts because they are really important. How important? Not very important. They are really important. I love you now, Piriadipoina. Aadhaar can be used as proof of citizenship? No, residentship. Once issued, Aadhaar cannot be deactivated. Wrong. It can be deactivated or omitted. I love you. So, oh, sorry. So this two is also gone. So the answer is D, 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 D. D for dog. Who is a good boy? Guys, MCQ. With reference to Supreme Court recent orders on Bihar electoral rules, consider the following statement. Consider it. Why people do like this? I love you know, Piriadipoina. There was a song in our time. You people were not born. Allu Arjun was the actor. Mhm. Aadhaar has been added. So Aadhaar can be used. So let's say you don't know these data about Sir. You're not following Sir minutely, but we know second statement is wrong. It is not a proof of Indian citizenship, residency. So eliminate second. Use option elimination. Become a smart guy. Convert yourself from a hard-working guy to a smart guy. So the answer is B. 1 and 3 only. Oh, guys, I was supposed to do well. 16th article. 20th September 2025. Good stalling. Again, so what I have done is I have clubbed all ECI related articles at the same time, at the same place, right? So we are talking about ECI, Election Commission of India, and there's one quote: election should not only be fair, it should also be seen as fair in world's largest democracy. So there are people who have some issues related to ECI, Article 324. You have election commissioner, chief election commissioner, and two other election commissioners. They are all like, they have equal power. ECI, CEC is just first among the equals. Remember this. They are there for 6 years or 65, whatever comes earlier. So remember these facts and become a very good boy or a good girl, whatever. So ECI, Rahul Gandhi, you may like Rahul Gandhi, you may dislike Rahul Gandhi, you may like Modi ji, you may dislike Modi ji. That is not the point here. The point is there were some issues in Alan constituency, Karnataka. 6,000 legitimate voters, their name was they were tried to be like deleted, and that is being seen. These kind of things have been happening here, there, everywhere. So ECI prevented the deletion, but they did not disclose the destination IP and port data, which were trying to delete these information. CID, Crime Investigation Department, if I'm not wrong, just like you have CBI at the center, under DSPE Act, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, that is for CBI. In state, the Crime Investigation Department is CID. It looks within the state. These, they are the detective entity of the State Department. So within a state, you have CID. At central level, you have CBI. CBI statutory backing via DSP Act. Oh my God, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. So CID prop was going on, but because ECI is not telling the IP and destination port, they're not able to find out the whole rationale who did this who was trying to do this fraud. ECI admitted fraudulent attempts occurred, but it has not answered the core allegation why it is withholding critical technical documentation from CID. So again, whatever be the reason, but EIC had to be more transparent, because election should not only be fair, they should also be seen as fair. Without IP port data, CID cannot track these faults. So it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You can read all these things. EIC credibility already under strain due to, again, I love Modi ji, I love ECI. I have a group photo of Modi ji and Amit Shah in my heart. So quick analogy: local police handles street crimes. CID, state level detective branch. Remember, they can do work within their own state. They cannot do work, like in all over India. No, that is CBI, country's premier investigation agency. There is no CBI Act. There is DSPE Act, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, via which they get their power, backing, blah blah blah, statutory backing. Election Commission, Article 324, carry out elections of Parliament, State Legislature, President, Vice President. But the dispute, election related dispute, that is decided by High Court and maybe later by Supreme Court. That whole dispute resolution thing is not the work of ECI, keep it in mind. CEC, and earlier there was only one CEC. After 1989, you have one CEC, two ECEs, they are all equal, they have equal powers, but CEC is first among the equals, but the process of removal of them is actually different. You can read it: 65 or 6 years. Remember these facts, they are very important. Input, not important. Important means something else that you cannot produce. No, important. PYQ UPSC 2004. You see all the functions and see and try to answer this. Which of the above are functions of ECI? Use option elimination and become a good boy or a good girl. Whoa, guys. Why you people do wow wow? I love you na ఊపిరియాది పోయినా I love you na pranam పోయినా iti kuntadi prem ki. In our time there was a song, Allu Arjun, Arya too. నువ్వుంటే నిజమేగా సత్యం నువ్వుంటే నిజమాగా సత్యం. That is Arya movie. So proclamation of final verdict in the case of election dispute, that is not the work of ECI, guys. That is the work of High Court mainly, and then maybe Supreme Court. So not ECI. Fourth, you eliminated. Now you have to check second one. We don't need to check first and third. Option elimination. Read all statement. The more statement there are in UPSC PYQ, the easier that question is. You can do option elimination. So don't get bogged down that, oh my God, there are 5 statements. I got excited. So we don't have to check first and third. Second, preparation of electoral rules for elections of parliament. Yes, that is correct. So the answer is A. 1, 2, and 3. Wow. Hey, wow. Which of the following statement about CID in India is correct? Use option elimination. Read all statements. Don't get like, oh my God, sir, you did not tell much about CID. Use option elimination. Second is wrong. It cannot investigate case anywhere in India within their state. So second, eliminate second. You don't need to even know anything about 1 and 3. C is the answer. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Consider the following statement regarding tenure and removal of ECs. Chief Election Commissioner can be removed only like a Supreme Court judge. Maybe you don't know these stuffs. Again, maybe you don't know the removal process. This is your homework. Read it and become a good boy. Static and dynamic portion are merging here. Wah, wah, wah. Again, wah, wah, wah. I love you. Now, Dipo, ina. So, tenure is not 5 years or 62 years, 6 or 65. So, third is wrong. The answer is A and 1 and 2, even if you don't know. Chief Election Commission can be removed like Supreme Court Judge, CC, and other can be removed on the recommendation of CC. So you see, although they're first among equal CC, but still the removal process is different. Same, but different. No money, no honey. A is the answer, 1 and 2. Guys, be serious, okay? If you feel like my speed is too high, you can watch me at 0.75. If you feel like my speed is too less, you can watch me at 1.25. Different students, different problems. I have seen this. Okay. Again, all ECI related articles at the same time. Center says right to vote, not same as freedom of voting. Right to vote UPSC is already asked of PYQ. We'll have a look at that. Now the answer may be different. Like that year when right to vote question was asked by UPSC, they gave one answer. Maybe this year they will not give that particular answer. Maybe the answer will be something else. Will be good. So what they are saying, right to vote, according to government right now, government is saying that right to vote is a statutory right. See, so I will show you the question which was asked by UPSC, which created a lot of ruckus, guys. Rakku, rakku, pakku, kakku. No, sorry. Ruckus means like right to vote and be elected in India is what? UPSC 2017. And they gave the answer as constitutional right. Many people take legal right, and they used Article 326 as the point that yeah, right to vote is and be elected is constitutional right. Now, so even government is saying that no, it's not constitutional. It's a statutory, that is a legal right, and it is coming from RPA 1951. On the other hand, they are saying that right to vote is a statutory legal right under RPA 1951. So there are two things, guys: RPA 1950 and RPA 1951. You know, this RPA you will read in your mains syllabus, Representation of People's Act. 1950 is basically about electoral rules: who will vote, who will not vote. There is Form 7, by which your name can be removed, and all these things are under RPA. RPA 1951 is like people who are contesting elections. You know, how much money they can spend, model code of conduct, how it will be implemented, blah blah blah. So all these provisions are there in RP 1951. Remember this. So right to vote, they are saying, government is saying, center in its affidavit, they are saying right to vote is under RPA 1951, legal right. On the other hand, freedom of voting, it's a choice, speech and expression. So it is under Article 19(1), Clause A. 19 Clause A1 subclause A of the Constitution. So, and freedom of voting, right to vote is a prerequisite of freedom of voting. Please understand, this is tricky. This article is tricky. So, right to vote, whatever means UPSC said that it's a constitutional right, etc. Now, government is saying that no, it's a statutory right, and they are not same. Right to vote and freedom of voting is not same. Freedom of voting will only come into picture if you have right to vote. Why all these things are happening? Because there's a there is a case which has been filed against government. So what government did was, I will tell you the whole issue. First of all, look at it. This is a tricky article, guys. Go through it again and again. Right to vote is a statutory right according to Supreme Court. It means government legal right under RPA 1950. Freedom of voting, it's a part of freedom of speech and expression under Article 19, Clause 1, Clause A. You have freedom of voting only if you have right to vote. So hope you are understanding. If I have a right to vote, only then I can go and I can vote for anyone I want to, right? So the case concerned regarding uncontested election under section 53 clause 2 of RP 1951. And so what government did was, there was an uncontested election which happened because there were five people, and let's take an example. There are five people who are contesting and there are five seats. In that scenario, there is no need for an election. That is an uncontested election. If there is no election, then there is no right to vote. If there is no right to vote, there is no freedom of voting, right? So that's what ADR and VD Center is saying, that why you did not have election. It goes against, it violates our right to vote and all. So case concern uncontested election which happened, and if the number of, and why there was no election, because this provision was fulfilled under section 53 clause 2 of RPA 1958 of 51. Number of candidates equal the number of available seats. The returning officer must declare all such candidates are duly elected. That's what happened. But ADR and Vidhi Center is saying that not conducting a poll in contested elections violates citizens' freedom of speech and expression, that is freedom of voting, under Article 19 clause 1 subclause A. Citizens are denied the chance to express nota. We will not select anyone, none of the above. But nota does not have that backing. Nota is You just used to protest it. It's not like if Nota gets the maximum number of votes, nobody will be elected from that seat. That does not happen currently in India. Maybe it will change in future. We don't know. Both the center and ECI have addressed whether declaring a single candidate elected without polling violates elector rights to use Nota. Center is saying that freedom of voting or freedom of speech and expression comes when right to vote is there. When the election did not happen, right to vote is not there. When the right to vote is not there, where is the freedom of voting? Where is freedom of speech and expression? So that's what center is saying. Right to vote arises from section 62 of RPA and is limited by statute. Freedom of voting is a form of expression under freedom of speech and expression, article 19 clause 1 subclause A. Center cited 2003 Supreme Court judgment. Right to vote is not a fundamental right, constitutional right, and not a fundamental right. I seriously don't understand why they said it's a constitutional right, why not legal right. Again, it's none of my concern. But when a voter casts a vote, it becomes an act of expression. Freedom of voting, that is a form of freedom of speech. Please understand, guys. Right to vote, statutory right under RPA 1951, which UPSC believes to be a constitutional right under Article 326 of Constitution. Freedom voting is a part of freedom of speech and expression under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A. Center's key submission, freedom of voting, whether positive or negative or nota, exists only when a poll is conducted. If there is no poll, uncontested election, no freedom. So, right to vote is a prerequisite of freedom of voting. According to Center, freedom of voting is contingent upon existence of a poll. And since, again, you can read all, don't forget about section. Just remember the relationship between right to vote and freedom of voting via this particular awesome article. Awesome article. You can read it in your own free time if time permits, but not needed right now. Maybe in mains, if you have some issues, you can contact me and we'll have more discussion on this. This is actually an awesome article. Right to vote, statutory right under RPA. Freedom of voting, fundamental right under article or freedom of speech and expression. Meaning eligibility to vote. Freedom of voting means I can vote anyone I want to. I can vote to nota. So read all these things. Right to vote lets you participate. Freedom of voting lets you choose whosoever you want to choose. You want to vote for Shubh. You want to vote for somebody else. I love one name, guys. Mathili. Mathili. Right to vote and be elected in India, constitutional right according to UPSC 2017. Next question. Which one of the following best describes the relationship between right to vote and freedom of voting? What have we just discussed? Read all the statements and try to do option elimination and become a really good boy and really good girl. So the answer is right to vote is a prerequisite for exercising freedom of voting. Wow. Ooh. As Radhakrishna sir elected Vice President of India. So now here Radhakrishna sir, yeah, we are very happy about him. Congratulations, Radhakrishna sir. More important here is the process of election of Vice President and President. Comparative analysis, guys, smart study. Vice President election, all MPs of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, elected, nominated, doesn't matter. Vice President. On the other hand, President, elected MPs of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, elected MLAs. So remember this difference. There is a difference here. In president election, there is weighted system. Votes have weight. In here, every MP have one vote. So weighted system means MPs, their votes will have different weight and MLAs will have different weights. Their MLAs also, their votes will vary according to their state's population. So all these things are there. Value of vote of an MP is decided by you will take values of vote of all MLAs divided by total number of MPs, elected MPs, and then you will get the value of vote of MP. Remember these static things, they are important. Important. My God, why I can't be serious, guys. Election. Maharashtra Governor C.P. Radhakrishnan, 17th Vice President. From UPSC perspective, guys, 17th Vice President, 67 Vice President. These numbers are not important. The process of election of Vice President and President, they are really important. Cool. Cross voting, etc. Blah 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 happened. You read all these things. Modi sir is very happy. Wow. So electoral college. This is important from exam perspective. President, elected MPs and MLAs, elected MLAs, not nominated. Sachin Tendulkar, when he was a nominated MP of Rajya Sabha, he could not have come for this president election, but he could have voted for vice president election because he was a nominated member of Rajya Sabha. In president, votes are weighted based on population proportional representation. Vice president, MLAs have no role. Votes are not weighted. One MP, one vote. Remember these things. All members of parliament, elected, nominated, etc., they can take part in vice president election. Really good. Vice president of India is elected by choose the option. Use option elimination and become a really good boy or really good girl. I love you na upiriadi poina. I love you na pranam poina. Iti kuntadi prem ki. So Vice President of India is elected by members of Parliament only B. Just give me a second, guys. Oh. PYQ UPSC 2018 with reference to election of President of India, consider the following statement. Pause me and then try to unpause me. What do you think is the answer? Jeopardies, jeopardies. So value vote for each MLA varies from state to state. Yes. So states with higher population, they have a higher vote. Let's say a higher value. So let's say there is an MLA from elected MLA from UP or Bihar. Those states will have higher value compared to an elected MLA from Assam because of higher population. So first is correct. Now you're left with ANC. Value vote of MPs is more than no. MP of Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha elected MP. The value is same. It's just that it's the total value of you know votes of all MLAs divided by total number of MPs. So second is wrong, and the answer is A, one only. Value of an MP vote in president election is calculated by pause me, unpause me, dividing total MLA votes by the number of elected MPs. B. Next article, 19th article, 20th December 2025. Preamble. If you see the first part, the first article was related to preamble. There are many people who say that words like socialist, secular, etc. should be removed from preamble. So here Supreme Court is citing, like there is a ma'am called Banu Mushtaq. She's a Booker Prize winner, if I'm not wrong, very famous, writer. She's a Muslim. So she was invited by Booker Prize winner, 2025 winner, you see, and she was invited by Karnataka government in this for opening Dashara festival, and many people they did not like it. They were like, no, Dashara festival, Hindu festival. Why should a Muslim woman come and you know see this? A petitioner H.S. Gaurav from Bangalore objected to author Banu Mushtaq, a Muslim and Booker Prize winner, inaugurating Mysuru Dasara festival. So this petitioner is saying that there are two parts: ribbon cutting, secular activity, but temple puja and all is religious practice, and only a Hindu dignitary should have performed such religious practice. So then Supreme Court is saying that, bro, have you forgotten about Ismail Faruqi judgment of 1994? Have you forgotten that this is not a private event, this is a state event, and state is secular in nature. They are not discriminating people on the basis of religion. They can invite anybody they want to. So, because state is not religious, we have secularism as a feature. So the petitioner is saying that only a Hindu dignitary should perform ritual under Article 25, part of essential religious practice. So this is a political act again. Now, what was the justification given by Supreme Court? See this? They are saying that state of Karnataka is secular. This is not a private event. This is a state event, and state does not distinguish between religion. They don't distinguish. Before inviting a person, whether he's a Hindu or Muslim, this Hindu-Muslim thing, now I have started seeing it after the Amrit Kal started in 2014. I have seen what Godi media they do is, let's say there is a Muslim, a Hindu perpetrator who did certain stuff, they will hide his religion. They will not say that his religion, what it is. But when there are some Muslim people involved, they will suddenly highlight his name Khan, or they will say Muslim this and that. I don't know why they do that. If you remember, there is one Sadhvi madam who was elected an MP. She was a terror accused, and she was a Hindu. So I firmly believe, you may disagree with me, I firmly believe religions are not bad. People are bad in every religion. I can give you example of enough people in every religion who were heinous, so to say. So yes. So state of Karnataka means secular, maintains no religion of its own, citing 1994 M. Ismail Faruqi judgment. And it's a state, even not a private program. So, and there were other judgments also, Keshwanand Bharti, S.R. Bomai, which held that secularism is a basic feature. And even before secularism was added in our preamble, before 42nd Amendment, which is a mini constitution, it was not like we were discriminating. State never discriminated. Equal treatment was happening. Balram Singh versus Union of India. State neutrality does not stop it from curbing religious practice that impede equality development. Let's say abolition of untouchability. That is one thing. Or uh, anything. You may be triple talaq. I don't know. Or Sabrimala case, menstruating women not allowed to enter Lord Ayappa temple. So there are things which we have to understand from secularism perspective. India follow positive secularism, unlike let's say in France or in Europe where they have a strict separation between state and church. Here we promote, like we have equal respect, and we can intervene in religious practices if they violate fundamental rights. At the same time, we can also give protection to minority religion. Faruqi judgment cited Swami Vivekanand. stressing realization and not dogma. Swami Vivekanand, service of Jiva is worship of Shiva. Wow. Help a fellow human being and you are worshipping God. Constitution of India, remember it, guys. The number of questions which has been asked from, oh my God, my chapter like handwriting from preamble is huge. So remember your preamble. How many types of justice? Three: social, economic, political. Liberty, how many types? Step four: liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Equality, two types: status and opportunity. So, and when we gave ourselves this Constitution, 26 November 1949, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. So all these things, remember, mug up your preamble. In means they can directly ask you, write the whole preamble. They have already asked in pre multiple questions in preamble. Sarv Dhar Sambhav implies what? Again, this is based on your pre-existing knowledge. Try to, you may have heard this quote: state treats all religion equally. Whoa, does state? Like, is it true for current state India? Or like, again, I'm not going there. Preamble is what? Preamble is a legally enforceable law, interpretive tool reflecting constitution philosophy, directive principles, religious texts. Use your current pre-existing like knowledge. So it's an interpretive tool reflecting the constitution's philosophy. B. PYQ UPSC 2017. Which one of the following objective is not embodied in preamble? See this? That's what I'm saying. Chepandis, guys. Chepandis first. So you have. We were talking about liberty. So liberty, there was a mnemonic I told you. Tef for thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. So thought you have, expression you have, belief you have. So economic liberty you don't have. They're asking not embodied. Sometimes they will highlight this not like this. Sometimes they won't. So you have to be ready for that. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the words. If I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. If you want this PDF, you can send a message to me at this number. Next article, 20th. How are courts protecting personality rights? Personality rights. Do we have a single act dealing with personality rights? Personality rights mean what? Like currently we see, you may have seen those images, etc., where Shah Rukh Khan and Madhuri Dixit, they're doing something created by deep fake and all. Deep fake is what? Somebody else is doing it, but your photo has been or your face has been projected on that. So these things are happening, and that's what necessitates personality rights protection. And more actors and all, they're taking or they are going for protecting their personality rights. And I personally feel, why only actors? Later, even like it's not like common people. There is something called as revenge porn, which is happening. What is revenge porn? So two people are in relationship, and because of some reason, relationship broke, and then what happened? The relationship broke, and then one person used other person's images, etc., for some stupid things. Revenge porn. You can, even if you don't have the actual images, you can replace the face and all. So deep fake, revenge porn, all these things coming together. So it's not like it is these personality rights are needed only for these celebrities in this AI generated content era. It will be needed for common people as well. What are personality rights? And it's not only about protecting your name, image, face, and all. It's also about your traits, like Anil Kapoor, Jhakas. He took, personality rights for his whole Jhakas also. Nobody can use it without taking his permission and all. So, and do we have a single law for protecting personality rights? No, we have Trademark Law Act, Copyrights Act, different Supreme Court judgments, High Court judgments. So, no single law, but there are different laws, different judicial judgments and all, via which we are talking about or protecting personality rights, or courts are protecting personality rights. So, Copyright Act, Trademark Act, all these things are there. So this article is a mixture between polity, governance, and even science and tech. In science and tech, when you people will become 18 plus, you will prepare for UPSC. In GS Mains Paper 3, you will read about intellectual property rights. There you will read about copyright, trademark, patent, GI tag. So there are different words. Copyright is what? So let's say, uh, first of all, trademark. Let's say Parle G, Britannia. They have their own unique trademark, unique symbol, that is trademark. Similarly, celebrities, they also have this name signatures and phrases like Jhakas or Anil Kapoor. Copyright Act is what? A.R. Rahman, he composed a music. I wrote a book. I will get a copyright. Patent is what? No artist. They made a drug, medicine. On that drug, they will get a patent. GI tag is what? Unique to a particular means region. Darjeeling tea, Bengal Rasagulla, Odisha's Rasagulla. So all these things. Remember this? the difference between them. Constitutional basis, personality rights linked to Article 21, right to privacy. After K.S. Swami judgment, already UPSC has asked multiple PYQs on that in 2024 as well as 2021. So remember it and become a goody good boys and good girls. Wow, very good. Guys, please be serious, okay? I will kill you all and eat you alive. I won't, I'm not a cannibal. And if I have killed you all, I cannot eat you alive because you're already dead. See, it's a tricky statement. R. Rajagopal, Supreme Court recognized right to control identity use as part of privacy rights. Anil Kapoor case, injection against misuse of his person and catchphrase, chakas, chakas. Genuine satire and criticism is protected under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A, but commercial exploitation not allowed. And again, there's another point. In yes, personality rights have to be protected, but will it lead to can we not even criticize these people? Will it impinge upon Article 19, freedom of speech and expression? That is also one thing which we have to take into consideration. Article 21, privacy, personality rights has to be balanced with Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A, freedom of speech and expression. Arijit Singh voice cloning, all these things cannot be done using AI. Personality rights versus free speech. Article 21 versus Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A. As we have just discussed, parody has to be then criticism. Even like if these things become too stringent, think about what will Sunil Grover do then on uh, Kapil Sharma show. He did the parody of Amir Khan in such an awesome way. So personality rights also has to have some limitations and restrictions. So you can read all these things. There's no single law to talk about personality rights protection and all. We need a comprehensive or comprehensive legislative framework. You can read all these things. You hope you understood what is deep fake, what is revenge porn. Deep fake, you said it, but your face has been projected or replaced with Tom Cruise face. So it feels like Tom Cruise has said it. That is deep fake. Revenge porn, I have just told you. So read all these things in your free time. Will help you in pre as well as mains. But we are talking mainly from pre perspective right now. Che Pandis. So personality rights are primarily derived from common law principles and judicial precedents. I show you a question and then I pause because I speak breathlessly like Shankar Mahadevan. So I'm taking pause. In the meantime, you solve this question. Che Pandis. Chepa, chupa, chepa. Guys, please be serious, okay? I will kill you all. Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A of Constitution of India guarantees what? What does it guarantees? Right to freedom of speech and expression. In the context of personality rights, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A protects what? Have a look at this. This is actually a good question. You can get confused. You can mark something wrong here. Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepandis. So it protects satire, parody, and criticism of public figures. 19 clause 2, I think it is on the restrictions of freedom of speech and expression or on freedom of speech and expression under certain scenarios. But 19 clause 1 subclause A is about freedom of speech and expression. Which of the following articles has the Supreme Court placed right to privacy? Article 21. 2024 and 2021, they have asked the same question, guys. UPSC does that. Article 50, most important articles. 21st article, retrospective age limits under surrogacy law violates reproductive autonomy. Here what we have to focus is on traditional surrogacy, gestational surrogacy, commercial surrogacy, altruistic surrogacy. What is the basic meaning of surrogacy? So in India, commercial surrogacy is banned. Not only that, most of the people like commercial surrogacy is banned. Yes, commercial surrogacy is banned, but traditional surrogacy is also banned, guys. Traditional surrogacy as well as commercial surrogacy both are banned. Most of the people, they don't understand this. What is this surrogacy thing? The opposite or somewhat opposite of traditional surrogacy is gestational surrogacy. So in India, altruistic gestational surrogacy is allowed. So commercial means you, like, let's go one by one. In traditional surrogacy, what happens? So the sperm comes from the father. The egg does not come from the mother, the actual mother. The egg comes from the pair, like surrogate. So in that way, surrogate is the mother of the child. Hope you're understanding. And that is traditional surrogacy. So she's carrying the embryo within her body, and she's also giving the eggs. The eggs and the sperm, they are fertilized, they become embryo, and then they are fertilized outside in vitro, and then it is planted inside the embryo. Like the embryo is planted inside the surrogate's body. So traditional surrogacy, surrogate is also the mother. In gestation surrogacy, that does not happen. Sperm comes from father, egg comes from mother. They are, in vitro fertilization is done, they become embryo, and then embryo is planted inside surrogate, and then surrogate just carries the embryo and she becomes a mother. So she's not actually the mother. I hope you're understanding. The mother is the one who, like, the mother is the mother who provided the eggs. So gestational surrogacy, that is allowed. In traditional surrogacy, eggs also come from surrogate. Embryo is also planted inside surrogate. Please understand these things. They are important. And let me show you, first of all, these terms so that you can understand, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. Let me also take a pause because I speak like Shanku Chanku Che Pandis. Guys, so couple wants a baby. Woman cannot carry a pregnancy due to medical reasons. So egg and sperm. Egg usually comes from woman who wants the baby, mother, intended mother. Sperm comes from intended father. Mother becomes sometimes confusing. People are like surrogate is the mother. Fertilizer in lab, in vitro fertilization. Egg and sperm combine to form a embryo. Now embryo will be frozen for later use, or it can be implanted in the surrogate. Implantation in surrogate. Surrogate mother carries the embryo in her womb until birth, and surrogate undergoes normal pregnancy, birth, baby is given to intended parents. So this whole thing which you have seen, the egg usually comes from the woman. This is example of gestational surrogacy. Gestational. Surrogate mother carries an embryo created from intended parents or donors, egg or sperm. This is allowed in India. Process egg and sperm combined via IVF, in vitro fertilization, to create an embryo. Embryo is planted inside surrogate's womb. Surrogate has no genetic link. Traditional surrogacy not allowed in India. Surrogate mother's own egg is used. So the so-called intended mother, surrogate's mother should not be used. Surrogate own egg is used. Surrogate is artificially inseminated with intended father's sperm. Surrogate is biologically the mother of the child. So this baby shares genes with the surrogate. In the case of gestation, she does not. So traditional surrogacy not allowed in India. Then altruistic surrogacy. Here we will not pay surrogate a lot of money, which is happening in commercial surrogacy, which is illegal again in India. In here we will just pay for her medical and legal expenses. She will be generally a relative. So altruistic surrogacy allowed, commercial surrogacy not allowed, gestational surrogacy allowed, traditional surrogacy not allowed. In simple words, altruistic gestational surrogacy is allowed in our country. It's tricky, right? You have to understand these words, they're important. And then government came up with this surrogacy act in 2021. Supreme Court is right now saying that, and this act came into force from January 25, 2022. Supreme Court is saying that people who already did this whole thing, created embryo, maybe they have frozen it, they have not planted it inside the surrogate earlier, before January 25, 2022. So this surrogate law will not apply retrospectively. If people have done it before January 2025, 2022, things in frozen egg or embryo, etc. So they can go ahead with the things which they have done earlier. This whole surrogacy law, current surrogacy law, will not apply retrospectively on them. Rule on the applicability of age limits. Like currently in the Surrogate Act, Supreme Court or the Act has prescribed age limits. Who can go with this whole surrogacy thing? Altruistic gestational surrogacy. Women must be 23 to 50, men must be 26 to 55. So let's say this condition is not getting satisfied by men ages 25 only before, and but they did this whole thing before January 25, 2022, then this law will not be applied to them retrospectively. Couples who have already initiated the surrogacy process before the law came into effect. Age limits prescribed by the Act do not apply retrospectively. So hope you are understanding. If the woman age is, let's say, 22 or 51, so it will not apply to them retrospectively. It will apply if they have done it after January 25, 2022, whatever is the age limit or whatever is the starting point of this Act. Petitioner's case, three couples approached. They argued that they have already created preserved embryos. Hope you understood the meaning of embryo. What is embryo? What is gestational? What is traditional? What is altruistic? What is commercial surrogacy? These things are important, and these are the points which you have to keep in mind from exam perspective. This this whole thing is fine. This whole whatever we are discussing right now. Hence, they should not be qualified by the new age limits introduced later. You can read all these things. The Supreme Court is not saying anything bad about this act. They're just talking about a retrospective implementation when it comes to these age limits. That will not be the case here. This act will not be applied retrospectively, unlike, let's say, PM Kisan Act or National Food Security Act. Let's say PM Kisan Act, they came in a particular year, particular month, they'll be applied, or they were applied retrospectively. They came into picture earlier when they were enacted, or like, hope you're understanding. Same case with National Food Security Act. Let's say they came in 2013, or but government said that they will be applicable from 2012. That can happen in retrospective act. This will not be, like, surrogacy act will not be that act when it comes to the age limit provision. That's what Supreme Court is saying. Exemption from age limits applies to all cases where embryos were created and frozen before the law's commencement, even if implantation into a surrogate mother had not yet occurred. Whoa. So you can have a look at all these points. Traditional, we have discussed all the definitions on. Very important, very tricky, very conceptual article, guys. Japanese, Japanese, Chepu, Chepu. Guys, why you people do Japanese, Japanese? So surrogacy, Supreme Court ruled that age limits under Surrogacy Act do not apply retrospectively to couples. B. In traditional surrogacy, which of the following is true? Traditional, gestational, we have discussed. Surrogates, traditional, surrogate's own egg is used, so she is genetically related to the child, not allowed in India, traditional. Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021 prohibits commercial surrogacy. Article 22, Ladakh, Article 371, 6 schedule, how they are different from each other. All these points are actually important, guys. 23rd October 2025. So Ladakh, protest is going on. After they become a union territory, they want to become a state. They want provisions under 6th schedule. They want more autonomy. So government is saying that we will give you provisions under Article 371. See, understand, Article 371 gives temporary provisions, and they have given temporary provisions to different states. It's not as exhaustive as 6th schedule. In 6th schedule, tribal autonomous councils are created. They basically have a lot of powers to rule their own council, own province, so to say, manage their police, pass some laws. That is not happening in 371, which is applied to different states, Nagaland, Assam, Manipur. They varies and they give some features, some protection, some provisions, not as exhaustive as 6th schedule. So Ladakh, different political bodies, civil society bodies like these two, I will show you. I love you, no, Piriyadi Poina. So there are two bodies. Like Sonam Wangchuk is in jail, right? So you have lay apex body KDA, and these are civil society groups which emerged after the protest started in Ladakh region after it was given a union territory status. They are like, no, this is so wrong. So lay apex bodies of Leh, Kargil, and Leh district, and Kargil Democratic Alliances of Kargil district, civil society groups, they're talking about all these things. They had discussion with MHA officials and they're like, no, we don't want Article 371. We want sixth schedule. We want statehood. We want proper representation. We want Sonam Wangchuk and other people to be released from prison. That is so wrong. 4 people died. One war, Kargil war veteran was killed, man. This is so sad. Whenever I hear about Ladakh, Sonam Wangchuk and all, I become very sad. Very sad. I don't know. Big criminals outside jail, and NSA has been invoked on Sonam Wangchuk. I don't want to comment anything on it. So these two bodies, civil society bodies of Leh Ladakh region and Kargil region, they have said that no, we don't want 371. We want sixth schedule inclusion. We want full statehood for Ladakh. Release of Sonam Wangchuk and other detained protesters. What is important here from exam perspective is you have to go through Article 71, different provisions, which states are enjoying this. Certain portions. Tamil Nadu is not a part of Article 371. You have to remember it, guys. There's no other thing which I can do here. You have to go through it. You have to look at it like look at Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or Monica Bellucci or Sonam Bajwa. Guys, focus. Just like you look at their images, you have to look at this feature, this image, and you have to remember them all. Very good. So Article 371, Part 21. Temporary provisions currently applicable to 12 states, not as exhaustive as 6th schedule. It does not give as much power, as much autonomy as 6th schedule, and that's why people are saying that we don't want it. Keep it with you, government. We don't want Article 371 for that reason. So MHA is saying that okay, we will think about 6th schedule inclusion right now. 6th schedule currently for 80 Whoa. Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. Cheaper days. MCQ. Consider following statement regarding recent Ladakh civil society demands. You need all the options. Choose and go for option elimination. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So they have accepted Article 3, though they have not accepted. Third is wrong. So obviously A, 1 and 2 became the right answer. Very good. Article 370 of the Indian Constitution is related to whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, pause me, unpause me. Pause me, unpause me. B. Temporary transitional and special provisions for certain state. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Which of the following states currently have special provision? This is a tricky question. If you get this question wrong, it's fine. It's totally fine. So Tamil Nadu is not there. So eliminate Tamil Nadu, rest all are there under Article 371, different provisions. So 1 to 4, D. I love you now, Piriyadi Poina. I love you, Pranam Poina. Which of the following powers do autonomous district council under 6th schedule not exercise? Maybe you will be like, sir, you did not tell us everything. I told you certain stuff. Use option elimination, try to solve this question and become a transition yourself from a good boy to a Good boy, good girl, you're a very good boy, a very good girl. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, what is happening here? What am I doing? Sometimes I do things, guys. So they can they amend the constitution? Do you think they have that much power? That is a parliament, guys. So D eliminate it. Rest, you have to choose the best possible option, right? So D is wrong. They cannot excite. They can make laws. They can control their police. They can levy certain tax, but they cannot amend the Indian constitution. D is the answer. 23rd, Delhi High Court upholds FSSAI ban on ORS tagged drinks. So, what is happening right now? FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, statutory body created by an act of 2006. Let's talk about this first of all, and then we'll talk about the issue. Food Safety and Standard Acts. Under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, but the chairperson is appointed by central government, and he is not Director General of Health Services. Please remember, this FSSAI is not under Director General of Health Services. There is a chairperson appointed by central government. Independent statutory body it is under MOHFW, headquarter New Delhi. This Food Safety and Standard Act 2006, via which FSSAI has been created, it has subsumed many acts like Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, etc., etc. Now, what is important here? There are many drinks in currently. FSSAI has been, there you may have seen many YouTube videos where people are like, this has been labeled this and that. FSSAI is not looking into it. So there is a severe shortage of staff also, which has been highlighted by PAC, Public Accounts Committee. So what was happening was this rebalanced Dr. Reddy, they were selling some fruit juice and God knows what, packaging them as ORS. ORS is not fruit juice, guys. ORS is a mixture of water, salt, different nutrients in certain proportion. Not every fruit juice, this and that can be labeled as ORS. So that was the complaint against Dr. Reddy. God knows whether they have removed ORS label now or not. But Delhi High Court is saying FSSAI banned them that you cannot use ORS on your fruit juice and fruit-based non-carbonated ready-to-drink beverage. ORS has to satisfy certain pharmacological ORS standards. Not any and every drink can be stated as ORS, guys. This is so wrong. They challenged this in Delhi High Court, and Delhi High Court was like, no, FSSAI is right here. And what is important here? FSSAI, it has been established by which act? It is not under the charge of Director General of Health Services. They have a chairperson, 22 members from different ministries. They come under their nodal ministry is MOHFW. Keep these points in mind. PAC is also auditing FSSAI. There is severe shortage of manpower in, you know, FSSAI. Where it is not, like most of the government bodies, they are suffering from severe shortage because government does not have money for government jobs. Foreign tours and all that, they are more important. Nah, I'm not going there. Guys, I love, Upiriadi Poina. Food Safety and Standard Act replaced the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, correct? So we are left with ANC. Food Safety and Standard under the charge of, I've just told you, it is not under the charge of Director of Health Services. It is under Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, but it is not under Director General of Health Services. There's a chairperson appointed by central government. So not under, not. So second is wrong. So the answer is A1 only. Whoa, guys. Which of the following correctly describes ORS? Choose the best option. Pause me and pause me, pause me and pause me. A medically formulated mixture of salt, glucose, and water used to treat dehydration. Very good. 24th associated with FSSAI only. 22nd means November 2025. PAC. Here, Public Accounts Committee. What you have to do, there are different committees. Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, Committee on Public Undertakings. Estimates Committee has largest members, 30 members. PAC and Committee on Public Undertakings, 22 members, 15, 7, 15 from Lok Sabha, 7 from Rajya Sabha in both PAC as well as Committee on Public Undertakings. Or Estimate Committee, all 30 members from Lok Sabha, biggest committee in Parliament. And they are checking how much money government is spending, etc., etc., auditing CAG reports. And then they're also seeing how government instruments are functioning, or machineries are functioning, or government authorities are functioning. Like they're seeing FSSAI, they are having severe shortage staff or shortage of staff. So why? PAC referred to CAG report that pointed out a severe manpower shortage within the FSSAI. So what is important here is revise FSSAI again. That is good because UPSC has already asked PYQ on FSSAI. At the same time, PAC, Estimates Committee, Committee on Public Undertakings, all these things you have to revise and become a very good boy or very good girl. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So this is for your reading. Read it in your free time. Let's solve some questions. PYQ UPSC 2014, largest committee of the parliament. I've just told you what is the answer, guys. Chepade cheputadu ledu. Kadu. Answer is Committee of Estimates, B. FSSAI was established under which of the following? Chepandi is Chepu Telsu Ledu, the Food Safety Standards Act 2006. 20, last article of the day, guys. 25. Rest 25 in two other parts of polity and governance coming very soon, and not very soon. We have to cover news till mm, April, 24th April, 1 month before. If prelims is on 24th May, we will cover current affairs till 24th April. So what happened in the second part? We covered September, October, and November articles. In third part, which where we'll be covering articles from 36 or 26 to 37. So they will be mainly from, I'm not saying all, they will be mainly from December, January, and February. So February has to go away, and then only in March we can come with part 3, right? So yeah. Judiciary cannot type. So presidential reference. It's like there was a judgment given by two judge bench of Supreme Court earlier that the governor cannot sit on a bill indefinitely and he has to pass within 3 months. Then Supreme Court passed this presidential asked opinion from Supreme Court, or like president asked opinion from Supreme Court under 16 presidential reference under Article 143. Different southern states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala was like, no, this is actually an appeal against this Supreme Court judgment. But Supreme Court was like, no, no, no. President has power to ask questions on different matters under Article 143. Under Article 143, Clause 1, she can ask about different, Supreme Court opinion on different issues which is arising in day-to-day arena. And then 143, Clause 2 is about pre-constitutional treaties and all. In 143, 1, Clause 1, Supreme Court may or may not give advice to President. And this is discretionary. On the other hand, 143, Clause 2, Supreme Court has to give advice to President. In both the cases, advices are not binding on President. Remember these facts. So a five-judge bench is saying that no, 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 we cannot impose uniform timelines as two-judge bench has earlier done, 3-month timeline for Governor President. We cannot do that, because it will violate separation of power. You have legislature who will make laws, you have executive who will implement laws, you have judiciary who will check constitutionality of laws and executive orders. So we as judiciary cannot put limits on executive how much time they can take and not take, but ideally they should not sit indefinitely on bills. They should avoid prolonged and evasive inaction. If they keep on doing that, maybe we can issue a limited mandamus to governor and all. Why are you sitting on a bill indefinitely? But that is a question altogether for a different time. We cannot put limit on a time limit like which was done earlier. Tamil Nadu and Kerala are saying that no, 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 this reference is not a presidential reference. President is not asking for advice. This is actually an appeal against that April judgment, where Supreme Court two-judge bench, they said the 3-month timeline. So governor options under 203 or Article 200 has been clarified. They can give assent, they can reserve bill for president or return the bill for reconsideration. Cannot stall a bill by simply withholding assent indefinitely. They cannot do that. Now there is a homework for you people, guys. Read about pocket veto, suspensive veto, absolute veto, qualified veto, and if you know, you can tell in the comment section which of the out of those 4 vetoes not applicable in India. Withholding a bill without returning it violates federalism. If governor must have a dialogue, tell state legislature what problems they have. They cannot sit on a bill indefinitely. If they do that, maybe if there is a prolonged, unexplained, indefinite inaction, court may issue a limited mandamus. Mandamus means we command. One of the writs issued, like mandamus, habeas corpus, certiorari, quo warranto, prohibition, revise all those writs, guys. Governor personally remains immune under Article 361. Article 361 provides that governor is immune from all the official work which he is doing in his capacity and all. Courts cannot review the merits of governor decision under Article 200, but if they sit on a bill indefinitely, maybe limited mandamus can be issued. No fixed judicial timelines because bill differs in complexity. That was what 5-judge Supreme Court said, or bench of Supreme Court said actually. Oh my god, oh my god, I'm tired, guys. I love you know Article 143. Supreme Court's opinion under Article 143 is binding. No, it's not binding, it's advisory. So first is wrong. You're left with B and C, just check the third one. Article 143 makes it mandatory, yes. 143 for president to refer disputes arising out of yes, 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 yes. And in that case, Supreme Court also has to give advice. So B is the answer. Which of the following best describes Supreme Court views in 16 presidential reference? Governors cannot be compelled to allow one-size-fits-all judicially fixed timetable. Which of the following statements correctly differentiate Article 143 Clause 1 and 143 Clause 2? See, Article 143 Clause 1 discretionary, Article 143 Clause 2 is mandatory. Pre-constitutional treaties, Supreme Court has to render advice to President. And 143(1), not like Supreme Court may or may not give advice. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. You are your own competition. You are not competing with anybody else. Keep that in mind. What else? If I'm, adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. If you want this PDF, again, you can send me a message at this number only. That's it from me. Take care, be blessed. I will see you soon.
Hello everyone. So this is Polity and Governance Part 3, 50 most important current affairs. So up until now in the first two parts we have covered 25 in most important current affairs for polity and governance for UPSC pre 2026. We have covered almost last 1 year or so. So let's start from article number 26. My name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. You can join this Telegram channel. I share, Hindu analysis PDF Monday to Saturday in this Telegram channel, so you can be a part of it. 26th article, 29th January 2026, this article appeared. Can ED, Enforcement Directorate, file writ petition? Writ petition, like writs, habeas corpus mandamus, certiorari, quo warranto, prohibition, writ jurisdiction. Supreme Court has writ jurisdiction under Article 332, High Court 226. Supreme Court has writ jurisdiction against fundamental rights. High courts have writ jurisdiction against fundamental rights as well as legal rights. You know, in the case of Supreme Courts, if a writ petition has been filed, they have to entertain it. On the other hand, if a writ petition is filed under Article 226, High Court may or may not entertain it. It's not like it's always compulsory, because it is also taken for writs are also taken for legal rights. You will understand each and everything. Just be with me. So writ jurisdiction. Who can file a writ? Let's say, what is writ? Writ means like habeas corpus mandamus, etc. My fundamental rights are violated. To ensure that restoration of fundamental rights, I will file a writ petition in Supreme Court or High Court. So who can file? Any person whose fundamental rights or legal right is violated. Any aggrieved person. Public interest litigation, I can file on behalf of a third person. After this, PIL came into picture. Statutory authorities or bodies like SEBI, RBI, etc. If in their, like uh, in their whole statute, it is written that they can file writ. Government officers or authorities. Now, this is the question we are asking: whether these authorities, bodies, etc., they can file a writ or not. Because if in a way, if a government body is filing a writ, that means center is filing a writ. If a central government body is filing a writ, and if they're filing a writ against state government, that means center is filing a case against state government. Then ideally it should be a center versus state case under Article 131. So that is what this article or this particular, you know uh, whole article is all about. It's a little tricky, guys, but it's important. We have to go through it. So Supreme Court is examining whether Enforcement Directorate has the right to file writ petition in High Court. What happened was, there was a case. Kerala set up a commission of inquiry to probe allegations that ED officials were trying to. There was a 2020 gold smuggling case in Kerala, and ED officials, they looked into that case and they felt like state leaders were involved. So Kerala in return set up a commission of inquiry that ED officials are trying to frame them. And then ED filed a petition, writ petition in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court is just examining it. Kerala and Tamil Nadu have challenged Kerala High Court judgment that allowed ED to file writ petition. The question is ED an independent legal body? Can they file a writ petition? When they are filing a writ petition, since they are representing center, in a way center is fighting against state. If a center state dispute is there, it should directly go to Supreme Court under Article 131. Writ petition should not be allowed. So the whole question is whether Enforcement Directorate can file a writ or not, because that is not explicitly written in, who can file writ petitions. Kerala High Court was like, no, 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 ED can file a writ petition. But then the Kerala and Tamil Nadu government, they were not happy with it. They were like, no, they cannot file writ petition. It basically means center is suing states. No, if it is a center state dispute, it should directly go to Supreme Court under Article 131. So there is a debate here, there is a confusion here whether ED can file writ petition or not. The point here is, from our perspective, from exam perspective, who can file writ petition? What is writ? What are different types of writs? You have habeas corpus, to have the body of mandamus. Habeas corpus means if you are illegally detained, this particular petition or writ you can invoke. Mandamus, by we command, like in that Supreme Court is telling certain authorities to do their work properly. Quo warranto, here by what authority? By, they will check the legality of office. Prohibition, they will sometime prohibit. Supreme Court will sometime prohibit the lower courts from passing a judgment. So all these are there. Quo warranto, certiorari, and all those stuff. Who cannot file writ petition? Private individuals against other private individuals. If I have to file writ petition, I can file writ petition against government. Government versus government in high courts. That's what the whole issue is. If ED is filing case against state government or writ petition, in a way it's center versus state dispute, and that's why it should go under Article 131 directly to Supreme Court. It should not go to Kerala High Court. That's what these state governments are saying. Personnel with no local standi. That means if they are not affected. then, and it is not a PIL. If they're not affected and they want to file a PIL, they can do that. Don't go into the intricacies of this article, guys. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand what is important and what is not. Chapandis. This is one of the trickier articles. The rest all articles will be very easy. With reference to writ jurisdiction, Supreme Court can issue writs only for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Yes, correct. So now you're left with A, C, D. You do option elimination. Can issue writs for enforcement of legal rights? Yes, legal rights as well as fundamental rights. So second is also correct. A and C. Check the third. Power to issue writs under article, no, not mandatory. 226 is for High Court, so voluntary. So they can issue it, they cannot issue it. It's totally up to them. But Supreme Court has to issue it if a writ petition is filed under Article 32. So third is wrong, and the answer is A. 1 and 2 only. Hope you're understanding, guys, what we are discussing here. This is like a combination of static and dynamic portion. So do revise Chepandis. Oh, sorry. So do revise your like static portion also. MCQ2. Which of the following writs is issued to question the legality of a person holding a public office? Again, revise all your writs. I have just told you. Quo warranto. By what authority? So here we are asking, if you're doing something, do you have the authority? Are you holding a particular office? So quo warranto. MCQ3. Gee, Pandi, a writ of prohibition. This is a UPSC PYQ, guys, 2024. Is an order issued by Supreme Court or High Courts too? You can pause me, you can then unpause me. The lower court prohibiting continuation of proceedings in a case. C. MCQ4. Which of the following best describes locus standi? Legal capacity of a person to file a case. That is locus standi. So these are again technical terms, good terms which you should know about. 11th February 2026. So here I want to chapandi something. What do I want to chapandis, guys? Chapandis. So when I did the Hindu analysis on 11th February, I said that speaker can be removed by simple majority. No, that is wrong. They can be removed by effective majority. That confusion happens, but it should not happen. It's effective majority. Remember it. Effective majority and simple majority, they vary. Effective majority is much more stronger, and that's why speaker is not removed generally. Let's say in Lok Sabha you have 552 or 553 total capacity, but effective strength is only 543. Some people died during the tenure, so the majority of this 543 will be effective majority. But simple majority is much simpler. Out of these five members present and voting, let's say 200 members are present and 180 are voting, then only you need 91, majority of members present and voting, not only all. So simple majority is so simple. Any speaker can be removed by that. But no, it's not simple majority, it's effective majority. So remember these things, they are very important. So again, parties have filed a notice against Om Birla sir. They are not very happy with how he's carrying proceedings in Lok Sabha. There is some amount of allegations. He's not allowing enough time for opposition leaders to speak. He's truncating their speeches. Camera zooms out when they speak, when they are showing certain stuff. So yeah, 120 MPs from parties, like you can see 120 MPs is not a small number. Although that motion failed, but it now in history books it will be written. They talk about how many people earlier this motion was brought. So now there will be a name of Om Birla sir also, even though it failed. Allegations, etc. Now, from our perspective, exam perspective, what is important? Speaker elected among the members of Lok Sabha. Unlike UK, United Kingdom, from where we have taken a lot of things, we have gotten inspired by UK a lot. But in UK, what happens if a speaker is elected, he will resign from his party. That does not happen in India. That creates issues. Article 93 to 97 deals with speaker and deputy speaker. Speaker generally from ruling party and deputy speaker from opposition party. Since they are generally from opposition party, that's why we don't have deputy speaker, because the current government, they don't want any like deputy speaker from opposition party, whatever it is. So they preside. You can see all these things. Now this is important. Speaker decide whether a bill is money bill or not. Sometimes even Aadhaar bill has been passed as money bill. Anti-defection law 10th schedule, that is also, they are the deciding authority. I have told you the mnemonic for 10 schedules, I think 69,888 billion times. Years of old PM. Remember those schedules, they are important. Direct questions have been asked from them. Territories, emoluments of salaries, affirmations or oaths, Rajya Sabha, scheduled areas, other tribal areas, federalist, official languages, land reforms, defection. This is what we are talking about. 10th, panchayats and municipalities. Cool, sir. And then removal, they can be removed by resolution, requires 14 days notice. When a removal of speaker is going on, he will not preside. He can speak, He can vote in the first instance, but he will not preside. So he ensures smooth functioning, etc. Ideally, I personally feel the thing which happens in UK, that when a speaker is appointed, he resigns from his political party. That should happen in India as well. That would create a good precedent. So he can join later on once he is no longer a speaker. With reference to removal of speaker, minimum 14 days required, yes. Resolution does not require a special majority, effective majority, so second is wrong. Now you're left with A and D. Check the third. Speaker can participate in the proceedings during removal. Yes, he can participate. He will not preside. He can participate. He can also vote in the first instance. Which of the following best describes simple majority? Members present and voting. C. These are important topic, guys. You have to revise them. Again, a 2024 PYQ. With reference to speaker, resolution for removal, he shall not preside. Correct. He shall not, no, he has the right to speak. So second is wrong. If you eliminate second, you will get the answer A1 only. He shall be entitled to vote in the first instance. So third is also wrong, and the answer is A, one only. PYQ8 UPSC 2017. In the election of Lok Sabha or State Assembly, the winning candidate must get at least 50. No, no, no. We have FPTP system where even if you get 20 votes and other people have got less than 20, you will win. So note 50% scenario, guys. So A and C gone, you're left with B and D. According to provision, speaker post goes to, yes, speaker goes to majority, deputy speaker goes to opposition, but it is not a provision laid down in the constitution. So the first part is wrong, and that's why the answer is D, neither one nor two. Whoa, guys, let's be serious. Third article, like 28th most important article, written by M.K. Stalin, related to federalism. Again, static and dynamic portion mixing here like a chepandis. Chepu తెలుసు లైదు కాదు, guys. Why I shout a lot? I love to do that. So here he's talking about how center is becoming stronger. More and more state list subjects were transferred to concurrent or union list, like education. Earlier it was in state list, then it came under concurrent list via 42nd amendment. So he's saying that no, we need strong, if there are strong states, center will be strong, union will be strong, country will be strong. India's constitution, almost 50% of India's features which you're seeing in constitution derived from Government of India Act 1935. Remember it, because even in mains and pre, like there is a topic comparison of Indian constitution with the rest of the world, so you have to read about these topics. So he is saying Santanam committee said strong union. India, like India is based on Canadian model, right? We are a federal setup with strong unitary bias. That's fine, but earlier you had one party dominance, Congress. Then it was very, like, there was too much centralization. And then coalition era came, so states started getting some power. And M.K. Stalin sir is saying that states need power. Anyway, S.R. Bommai versus Union of India, they said that federalism is a part of constitution basic structure, which came from Keshwanand Bharti judgment of 1973. So it is a part, but basically this basic structure emerged from SGKMW, Shankari Prasad, Golaknath, Keshwanand Bharti, Minerva Wilson, Vaman Rao case. Do remember, they can directly ask you which particular case stated that federalism is a part of basic structure. That is Chepandis. No, not Chepandis. S.R. Bommai versus Union of India. Advantages of DC, he's talking about all the stuff. You can have a look at it. Basically he's saying that, like if you give states power, they can fail, and if you they will fail and they will also get success in some things. You can emulate it, like Tamil Nadu noon meal scheme became midday meal scheme. Kerala's health and literacy program, we are emulating it in some way or the other. Maharashtra employment guarantee program led to Manrega, which government did not like it and came up with VB Ji Ram Ji Mera Piya Ghar Aaya Ji Ram Ji. Maybe that song inspired Modi sir to name VB Ramji. Guys, people who don't understand Hindi, that Mera Piya Ghar Aaya Ji Ramji means my beloved has come home. Oh my God, guys. So basic, M.K. Stalin sir is saying that union should do works which are like, they should do works which are very important, very necessary, very critical. They should not, in Hindi, I want to say stuff like, pinpoint fingers and do like, okay, you should not be here, there, everywhere. Just, be in those areas which are actually critical for an economy and leave others for state and private entities. So that's what M.K. Stalin sir is saying. Let's solve some questions, guys, so that you can understand. Again, here static and current portions are merging. Indian federalism. Equal representation of states in upper house, do we have it? No, it's in US. So fourth is wrong, eliminate it. You will get the answer A1, 2 and 3. We have a written constitution, UK don't. We have division of power, we have independent judiciary. A is the answer, guys. Fourth is wrong. Right sizing the union means limiting union function to core national responsibility. Chepandis. Constitution of India define. Now this is a PYQ asked by UPSC in 2020. So let's be focused. Don't do chepandis. For people who don't know, Chippendies means I love you na Piriya Dipo ina. Constitution of India does not define basic structure. Basic structure came from Keshwanand Bharti judgment. So first is wrong. You're left with B and D. Constitution of India, there is judicial review is there, but in Constitution you will not see the word judicial review. So again, Constitution does not provide. This is a term which has been which came up via different again. So Constitution of India does not provide for judicial review. So again, D is the answer. You will not see explicitly judicial review written in Constitution. So D is the answer, guys. D is the answer. PYQ 12 UPSC 2017. Which of the following is not a feature of Indian federalism? Oh, so the answer is D. It is not the result of an agreement. India is an indestructible union of destructible states. So states can be divided. Unlike US is a result of an agreement among federating units, 50 states. Their division of states is very difficult. Wow, guys, please be serious. Next article, 20th February 2026. This is about RTI and DPDP Act. You should know about them. They are always in news because they are cheap and easy. So earlier RTI Act, Right to Information Act 2005, transparency versus right to privacy. And again, right to privacy, Article 21, K.S. Puttaswamy judgment came. So to fulfill the objectives of K.S. Puttaswamy judgment, let's first of all have a look at this RTI Act versus DPDP Act 2003. So RTI Act promote transparency, accountability with the help of MKSS, Mazdoor Kishan Shakti Sangathan. This RTI Act came into picture. Derived from right to freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of speech and expression, according to Supreme Court, it also means right to know. I have a right to know how my government is doing, what they are, how I have a right to know under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A. DPDP Act, Right to Privacy, Article 21, K.S. Puttaswamy, UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it. So there is a tussle between privacy and transparency. There has to be a balance, and that balance is slowly getting skewed in favor of DPDP. And because of there is a DPDP Act is trying to dilute Section 8 Clause 1 Subclause J of RTI Act. What this Section 8 Clause 1 Subclause J of RTI Act is saying, they are saying that it allows your personal information can be withheld if it has no relation to public activity or public interest, or it will lead to invasion of your privacy. But even if it leads to invasion of your privacy, there is a public interest override clause. If you feel like, if government feel like, if different entities feel like larger public interest justify revealing your personal information, then that information has to be revealed. Let's say Modi sir's degree. There is no doubt in our mind that he has a degree in entire political science. Although there is no subject called entire political science, but we can never doubt Modi sir, because we know how truthful, how honest, how awesome he is. So there is no issue with Modi sir's degree in entire political science. A new subject was created for Modi sir, not political science, but entire political science, and he got a degree in it. We know it's correct. But let's say we know there is some fraud politician who gave a fake degree and all. So in that scenario, if larger public interest justifies that, no, we need to know whether our leader is illiterate or not. It's not about literacy, etc. Even if you're illiterate, it's fine. Just don't lie in the your forms and all, because that is a punishable offense under Representation of People's Act. So that is the problem here. You are illiterate, accept it, you are illiterate. Nobody is going to tell you anything. It's fine, man. So hope you're understanding. This whole thing has been diluted. Maybe there is a specific reason why DPDP Act 2023 is trying to dilute 81G, 8 clause 1 subclause J, because what they are saying that in no scenarios. Now the amendment which is being proposed via DPDP Act in RTI, they remove this public interest override. They are saying that no, private information, personal information will not be disclosed. There will be a blanket ban. Nobody can know whether Modi sir has got a degree in entire political science or not. You have to trust him, because trust me bro is also a good source. Trust me bro. I love Modi sir. He's such an honest man, guys. So purpose of RTI Act enacted to create, you can read all these things. Changes introduced. Hope you understood why this whole thing is happening. We know the reason, you know the reason. Maybe we cannot say it explicitly because in India we have too much freedom of speech and expression. Now we, like, government can protect personal information, but they can look into our informations. There is a legitimate uses paradox. What does it mean? So DPDP Act allows state to process our data without consent, but we cannot seek similar data via RTI. So they can monitor us, we cannot monitor them, we cannot scrutinize state. That's how a true democracy runs. Whoa. True democracy is like this only, guys. You cannot criticize your government, you cannot ask questions from your government. Nah, nah, nah. Shift. And then journalists, to cut the feathers of journalists, what they have done, they are saying that journalists are data fiduciaries. Who are data fiduciaries? Let's say my data is with Facebook. How to use those data, where to process those data, that will be decided by Facebook, Instagram. They are data fiduciaries. Now journalists are also treated as data fiduciaries. If they do something, if they don't comply with government rules, and if they use data not in the way government wanted them to use, they can get fined as much as 250 crore. So now even people, investigative journalism, it will suffer. Investigative journalism may decline, leading to reliance. You can see what is happening, what government is trying to do in this Amrit Kal DPDP Act. Now here, startup companies, they are not treated as data fiduciaries, although they have data. But this whole data fiduciary concept applies to journalists, because again, government does not want investigative journalism. Nobody wants journalists to monitor them. They want journalists to ask, how do you eat mangoes, whether you suck it or oh my god, this is India is like okay, let's focus, guys. So hope you're understanding what is happening. Data fiduciaries, who are processing our data, who are deciding, like, how our data should be processed, etc., etc. We are data principals. Remember these words. We are data principals. Guys, please be serious. So in GDPR, EU's GDPR, do remember they can ask you GDPR, General Data Protection Regulations or rules. It is of which particular country or group of countries? EU. They balance privacy and transparency, but in our country, it is lacking. And let's see what happens. But things are not looking very bright for RTI, just like things were not looking very bright for Manrega, and Manrega has go gone. With reference to RTI, promotes to transparency and accountability, derives supports from Article 19, originally allowed disclosure, yes, if larger public interest justified it. All the statements are correct. D is the answer. Whenever you see the question, guys, pause me and then try to solve that question. Really good. Who are good boys and girls? You people are. Who else? Amendment to section Chepandis, just give me a second, guys, 81J through the DPDP Act, controversial because it removes the public interest override for personal information. 15. The term data fiduciary under data protection law refers to an entity that determines the purpose and means of processing personal data. Whenever you see the question, pause me and then try to solve these questions. Why do critics argue that DPDP compliance may create a chilling effect on journalism? Because handling personal data may expose journalists to heavy penalties and compliance burdens. MCQ 17. Which of the following best describes the legitimate uses paradox discussed in transparency debate? State can process our data, we may be denied access to similar information. State can do anything with our data, we cannot ask questions from state. That's how true democracy works. Guys, don't question Modi sir. I will kill you all and eat you alive. Modi sir is the best. He's the Chepandes. No Chepandes. Parliament's historic law and extended wait for women. Let's talk about this particular issue. Just give me a second, guys. Hello everyone, Chepandes. So we are talking about 30th most important article of the day related to Women Reservation Bill, and this article has been written by, just give me a second, guys, Chepandes. So this article has been written by, I have an OCD, man. I have an OCD. Everything is fine. Yes. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Hello. Hello. So yes, this article has been written by H.Y. Qureshi. He's a former CEC Chief Election Commissioner, related to Women Reservation Bill. Ideally, the plan is Women Reservation Bill will be applicable from 19th Lok Sabha, that is 2029 to 2034. But H.Y. Qureshi sir is saying that this is very difficult because there are so many conditions which has been put forward. That census has to happen, then based on that census delimitation will happen, and then the women reservation will be carried out 33%. So based on the way India things happen in India, government work happens in India, it's very difficult to see this whole thing getting operationalized before 2034 Lok Sabha, that is 20th Lok Sabha. So if so, he is giving reasons. Census has to be done, then data has to be compiled, then delimitation will be done under Article 82. Do remember these articles, important. Time required for delimitation 3 to 6 years. So it's very difficult. Optimistic timeline 2032, 33. But recently only in March there was an article given by government that government is very serious to ensure that this women reservation bill is implemented from 2029, that is 19th Lok Sabha. So let's see what happens. Political logic behind the delay: immediate implementation. If you do reservation right now only without increasing number of seats, 181 existing seats will be for women, and that will displace many male MPs that government will not like. So what government is trying to do, they will give the seats, but they will increase the number of Lok Sabha seats, 800 plus. Then people will not be removed, even if the reservations for there are, like, let me give you an example. So let's say there are 550 seats in Lok Sabha. There is no reservation as such for women, etc. Let's say there are 50 women MPs there. We're just taking an example, 50 women MPs. So there are 500 male MPs. If let's say the seats increase to 800, 33% reservation, one third seats gone to women. So let's take a number which is easier to do a calculation on. One third of 810 seats, let's say we take. So 270 seats gone to women. Even then there will be 540 seats for male. So the number will not be impacted if the number increases. Like the number of male MPs will not be impacted if Lok Sabha expands. That's what this article is saying. And delay serves political convenience, reservation linked to delimitation. It's like government is saying we want to do this, but then there are certain conditions. Women reservation bill, you can see the history. So H.Y. Qureshi sir is saying that maybe they have to wait till 2034 elections, but let's see. Let's not jump to that. Delimitation will alter the seat distribution between states. High population growth states will gain seats, and that will lead to more friction in the southern states, which has controlled their population. They anyway had this friction during finance commission resource devolution. Now this friction will percolate down to delimitation. So let's see how that pans out. Linking women reservation to dispute risk further delays. So let's see. Let's wait and watch what happens and how things happen. Now, if right now something happens in southern governments or southern states, they say that no, 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 we don't want this increased number of seats that will reduce percentage of our seats. Then government can say that, okay, see, we are very, we are very enthusiastic. We want to implement women reservation bill, but southern states are not allowing it. So they will get an excuse. Key design exclusions reservation. This, remember this, it does not apply. This reservation 33% for women do not apply to Rajya Sabha State Legislative Council. SC ST they get sub reservation. What does it mean? So let's say out of 500 seats, Lok Sabha seats, 200 seats, or let's take an easy example, 210 seats are reserved for SCs. So even in that 210 seats, one third will be there for women SCs. 210 means 70 seats. Women SCs, they will get one third of 210, that is 70. But that sub quota thing is not applicable for OBCs. So OBC women, they are not getting any sub quota. So there are things, S.Y. Qureshi sir is saying that this can be applied to Rajya Sabha State Legislative Council, means council, oh my god. And SC, ST, as they're getting sub reservation, same thing can happen for OBC women also. Give them sub reservation, give them sub quota. So, and there will be seat rotation, guys. Like which seats will be reserved for women MPs, that will continuously rotate. So some days Banaras will be there for women MP. That is the point. How much here political connotation can come into picture. Politics can come into picture. What do I mean by that? Do you think there will be any day till the time Modi sir is alive, he will let go of Banaras seat? Can Banaras ever come under women MP? Maybe when he's gone, Goa gone, and but he will not go because he is an incarnation of Vishnu according to Anbhaks, and he will live for 1,000 years. He will ensure, he will live for such a long period, he will ensure India becomes Viksit. Suggested solution, amend constitution to implement reservation before delimitation, or add only, you can see women only seats until full delimitation. You can see what Ashwai Qureshi sir is saying. You can have a look at it. Extend reservation to upper house, include OBC sub reservation. I agree with this. Representation delayed is representation denied. And this whole women reservation act, rather it has become an act. It is applicable whenever it is implemented, will be applicable for 15 years, and then it has to be renewed. Remember these facts. This is a PYQ asked by UPSC 2024. Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam provision will come into effect from 18th. No, 18th is currently going on. Aim is to implement it from 19th. So first is wrong. Eliminate first, you will get the answer C2 and 3. Even if you don't know anything, in the current Lok Sabha, this did not happen. This, reservations. This will be in force for 15 years, I've told you. Provision for reservation of seats for SCs women. Yeah. So the answer is C2 and 3. MCQ 19. Implementation of women reservation under the Act is contingent upon conduct of first census, correct? Delimitation based on census data, correct? Approval by all state legislature, not needed. So the answer is A, 1 and 2 only. MCQ 20. Consider the following hypothetical distribution. Total seats, SC, ST. Under the Women Reservation Act, how many seats would be reserved for SC women? One third of S, like 45. So that will be 50 if you do the CSAT. So here, Polity, CSAT, everything is coming together. Freeze on interstate seat allocation based on population was introduced to address concern related to population control effort by some states. 31st article, government to increase reservation for Agniveers and CAPFs to 50%. Agniveer people came with via this Agnipath scheme. Agnipath, Agnipath, Agnipath. In our time, you people were not born. There was an actor. He was a very good friend of mine, 2 3 years younger than me. Amir means Amitabh Bachchan, and then there was another younger actor, Ritik Roshan. They all were part of a movie called Agnipath. Guys, Agniveer, who are these people? They're very young kids. They're not even people, they're kids. Soldiers recruited into India's Agnipath scheme. Why young kids? Because our army is getting old. We need young blood. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan. I was watching this movie on Netflix, Saving Private Ryan. It's such a good movie, guys. But you people study, you don't have to. The Blair Witch Project. I was watching another movie. Guys, don't watch movies, but watching movies is much better than watching series. Series takes away a lot of your time. Let's focus. So, Agniveer soldiers recruited under Agnipath scheme. When why do we need this 17.5 to 21 years of age Agniveers? Because we need youth in our army. Old people with big bulges, protruding bulges, you know, they cannot fight properly. First their stomach will enter into a room and then they will enter, so you need young blood. But the problem is, that's fine, we need young blood, but the fact that they're serving only for 4 years, now they are already trained. Remember this, they are not common people. They are trained in the army, navy, etc. They know a lot of stuff. So if you don't give them job, the anti-social elements, some of them can become part of anti-social elements. They're anyway very good, they're trained, you can understand, so they have to be recruited somewhere. After 4 years, only 25% are there for permanent service. Out of 100 Agniveer, 75 will exit. Where they are going, yes, they will get financial package, etc, etc, but where are they going? If you don't recruit them here, there, everywhere, or anywhere, like if you, their energy, their training could be misused. You have to understand that. So that's like they get seva nidhi package, this and that, but this was the criticism of government, that you're training them in critical sectors. You're telling them about a lot of things. When you will be trained in army, navy, and air force, you will know a lot of stuff which normal civilians will not know. You will be, hope you're understanding. So they had to be recruited, and that's why they are recruited in, government is doing this, their recruitment in paramilitary forces. So government has decided to reserve 50% of CAPF constable post for ex Agniveers. This is already happening in BSF, and I think it will be extended to other types of CAPF. Let's see. So CAPF, BSF, CRPF, etc., 50% post will be reserved for them. They don't need to write, like do the physical test, they have to write the exam. First their recruitment will happen, and then the non-Agniveer, the common people, they will apply. They will join CAPF from 2026. So again, a good initiative. But then other people, common people, they can say that what was our fault? Why are we not recruited? You know. And again, there will always be points for and against. BSF, CRPF, remember their area and their jurisdiction, guys. Because GS3, internal security, from mains perspective, we will talk about it later on. This is basically we're dealing from pre-perspective. From pre-perspective, all these things: border security force, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They can say Indochina. Indochina is ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police. SSB, from the name you cannot guess, Nepal, Bhutan. So you have to go through them. Like CISF, Industrial Security Force, you can guess it if you know the full form. Industrial, that means industrial units, etc. CRPF, Reserve Police Force, Law and Order, Naxal. Difficulty here is in BSF, Pakistan, Bangladesh, SSB, Nepal, Bhutan. Remember these facts, they are Vilin Putin. Guys, let's be serious, okay? First batch of Agniveers become eligible for CAPF recruitment in 2026. 32nd, 10th January 2026, Fulton case about a victim's dignity, written by Chitija Vadatkar Wankhede. Basically, there was a girl, she committed suicide, and young lady doctor in Fulton. She committed suicide, and then people started, after her death, they started harassing or raising questions about her character assassination. Not normal people, even people from, chairperson of Maharashtra State Commission for Women. So she left a note alleging rape and harassment by a police official, because police officials, etc., were involved. That's why. So that raised question about so many things. Important from main's perspective, but from pre-perspective, you can have a look at it. What is important is these things: Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, Bharatiya BNSS. What is the basic difference between them? You can read this article in your free time. This is the part which is important, guys. So Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, BNS. First of all, I totally disagree with this whole Hindi naming, guys. I don't know why. I personally feel this earlier naming was fine. Yes, you wanted to remove the colonial legacy, Indian Penal Code and all. So name it in English only. Why are you making things difficult for non-Hindi background guys? Hindi is not a national language. Let me be very clear. It's an official language, just like English. Why there was a need to name it like this, Bharti? It's just like, creating issues out of nothing, just to egg people on. I don't know. This does not feel right. So BNS replaced IPC. This is dealing with what is a crime, what is a punishment, and all. BNSS, Bharatiya Nyaya Suraksha Samhita, replaced Criminal Procedure Code 1973. They are talking about the trial, how trial will happen, how you will be investigated, etc., etc. Focus on the intention. This is important. And then you have Indian Evidence Act. It is now Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. So if people, Hindi people, English people, they may not. Hindi people, they know Saksh means what. But like in UPSC, they asked Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan. What is the meaning of that? If, Garima for me has a different meaning. I was in Kota, guys. There was Bansal classes. There was a girl, Garima Mishra. She used to study there. So Garima takes me there, but this Garima is dignity. This is not Garima Mishra. Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan, manual, this is related to manual scavengers and their dignity, how to ensure. So Bharati Saksha Adhiniyam, Saksha means evidence, Indian Evidence Act. What evidence is admissible? So they talk about evidence, relevance, admissibility. You can see all these things. And it bars character assassination, which happened in this case. It's a very sad case. We can do analysis when we do means current important current affairs and all, but for now this part is important from pre-perspective. BNSS, what they replaced, what they talk about. Let's solve some questions so that you can understand it in a much better manner. Which of the following law do Chepandis? Which of the following law explicitly deals with admissibility and relevance of evidence during a evidence Saksha Adhiniyam? So you can get confused. People who have Hindi background, they will have advantage in these kind of questions. People who do not have Hindi background, they will face issues in these kind of questions. And I don't like it. I think there should be a level playing field. Which of the following best explains the role of BNSS? This is about investigation, inquiry, and trial procedure B. Defines crime and punishment, that is BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. A1. Like and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. You can donate if I'm adding to your knowledge base. If you want this PDF, you can send me a message at this particular number only. Crisis in education, 33rd article, 19 January 2026. Higher education institutions. So again, Supreme Court, they use article 142. Article 142 is used sparingly. When Supreme Court feels there is a vacancy, there is a gap somewhere, and they're not very happy with something, so they will use Article 142. It should be used sparingly only. And there they are saying some things about educations, like in education sector in our country, how there are vacancies when it comes to faculties, how there is politicization of these posts and all, how people are committing, students are committing suicide. There is no track of how many students have committed suicide, etc., etc. So Supreme Court is not very happy with how things are happening. 9 directions to central and state government. Education, it is in concurrent list, guys. It was earlier in state list. I have told you, it was brought to concurrent list via 42nd Amendment. So nature of student distress, they recognize the massification of higher education, privatization is happening, and some, like, they use their constitutional power, Article 142, because they were dealing with some suicide and tracking of suicide cases and all. So they're not very happy with how things are happening or running in the higher education arena. Staffing mandates, two direction filling post of registrar, etc. And then extent of vacancies, faculty vacancies 50%. Even in good universities like University of Madras, there is a crisis there. There is teaching strength is half of sanctioned post, no faculty appointment in the last decade, old faculties are going on. So all these things are happening, which is actually not very good. Filling faculty posts must follow UGC norms, which takes at least 6 months. And then even like chancellor appointments stalled due to conflict with governor, agent of center, according to some people. So they have their own issues, especially Tamil Nadu governor. They are having issues with Tamil Nadu CM. So there are so many issues running in the background, which is impacting our higher education. And you have to have a robust higher education if you want to become Viksit Bharat. Article 142 of the Constitution empowers Supreme Court to pass any decree necessary to do complete justice. MCQ 26. Education is placed under concurrent list. MCQ 27. Education was moved from state list to concurrent list by 42nd Constitutional Amendment. Remember these facts and figures. They are really important. Activists urge Supreme Court to treat hate speech as a constitutional tort. What is the meaning of this particular constitutional tort, guys? Let's have a discussion on it. Hello everyone, Chepandi Kumari, Sappe Bharis. Guys, let's be serious. Let's not speak anything and everything. So we are at the 34th article, these polity articles, they are so dense, guys. They're so dense. Everything is fine. I'm running. So activists urge Supreme Court to treat hate speech as constitutional tort. What is tort? So tort is invoked. Basically, they are saying that, let's say, fundamental rights, part 3 of Indian Constitution. So if my fundamental rights are violated, right, in that scenario, torts are invoked. So let me, again, this is a technical term, constitutional tort. Tort means allow state to be vicariously liable for violation of fundamental rights committed by its officials or agents. So if my fundamental rights are violated, this, see, we keep on talking about fundamental rights, negative obligations on states. In a way, they restrict states what they can do and what they cannot do. DPSP, positive obligations on states. You may have read it in your, like, when you people were less than 18, or when you're preparing for UPSC. Positive obligation, they tell state what to do, and here negative obligation tells state what not to do. So if my fundamental rights are violated, these officials, government officials, they are to be blamed. If these government officials are to be blamed, that blame will then go to the state. So this is a constitutional tort. If my, if there are hate speech which are rising, if Supreme Court has given a, given a verdict that suo moto cases should be filed against hate speech, and if officials are not filing, that means they are not doing their duty. They're violating their duty. They're not doing their duty. In that scenario, state is liable. Government is liable. Central government is liable, and questions should be asked from them. They should be publicly humiliated. Not in that harsh terms, but hope you're understanding what is constitutional tort. So prominent activists, they're saying that Supreme Court to recognize hate speech as a constitutional tort, so that we can make our government, state here means central government, liable for violation of fundamental rights. It's your duty to ensure hate speech does not convert into hate crimes. First of all, why are we having hate speech at all? There is a rise in hate speech. This religion is in danger, that religion is in danger, and advocate, you can see all these things. Hate speech cannot be treated as a routine policing issue, and it has to be recognized as constitutional tort. That means failure of officials, that means failure of, and that means state is liable because they did not do anything. And then they have to be pinpointed. States will be pinpointed, they will be asked questions. So every time it will be said, Modi government, they did not do anything against states, hate speech or hate crimes. Nizam Pasha pointed out, despite court order directing states to register suo moto on its own, suo moto means on its own FIRs, that thing is not happening. So in a way, they are doing contempt of court also. So hate speech often delivered by habitual offenders, yet police and investigating agency consistently fail to act. So then tort should be asking why they did not do their duty. And it's, if it's their failure, it's the failure of state. So that has to done. That has to be done rather. Hope you're understanding. So petitioner urged court not to dispose the case. They are saying that court, please, Supreme Court, you people have to keep a tab on what is happening. We have lost a little bit of faith in our government. Again, I'm not saying it. These people are saying it. I to love Modi sir. I think he's so neutral, so honest, and so secular. Concept of constitutional tort in India primarily emerged from judicial interpretation of which part? Part 3, fundamental rights. B is the answer, guys. Cheaper these guys. Hope you understood some part of it. In the context of constitutional law, vicarious liability of the state implies state is liable for action of its agents violating fundamental rights. C. 35th, 24th January 2026, right to dignity. So Asha workers, Anganwadi workers, there was a scheme called ICDS scheme of 1970s, by this integrated child development services and all scheme, child development scheme 1970s, which is taking care of child 0 to 6 years of age and mothers, pregnant and lactating mothers. So there came Anganwadi workers, and then later on Asha workers. This Anganwadi workers, they are under Ministry of Women and Child Development. Then there are Asha workers, which are under Ministry of Health. These people, they're generally, they're not given fixed salary and all. They are given honorarium, and they're not treated the way they should be treated, guys. That's what this article is all about. There has to be some right to dignity. Asha and Anganwadi workers in West Bengal, they're protesting that they should be given minimum monthly wage of 15,000. In so many cases, they're considered as scheme workers. There are certain schemes, there are certain acts, and based on that, you people are working. If those schemes are gone, you people will be gone. In fact, these Asha workers, they are a part of a scheme which is known as National Health Mission. In the current budget, health budget, government has cut the expenditure. So like central government is more or less and less interested in how Asha and Anganwadi workers, they'll be doing, carrying out their work. These salary dispersals, they are mainly done by states. And the more prosperous a state is, the more money these ASHA and Anganwadi workers get. What is important from exam perspective here? Integrated Child Development Scheme, launched in 1970s, 0 to 6 years of child, pregnant and lactating mothers, and that led to the emergence of Anganwadi. Later on came ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers under Ministry of Women and Child Development, ASHA workers under Ministry of Health. Remember these facts. State of Karnataka Amir B. Tribunal decision excluded Anganwadi workers from being treated as government employees. All these things have happened. Anganwadi and ASHA workers, they are temporary employees, they are not government employees, they are treated more as activists rather than employees, and that is not done. And since 2018, Center has frozen its contribution to ASHA and Anganwadi pay. So whatever money they're getting from states. If the states are rich, they're getting more money. If the states are poor, they're not getting that much money. So they are very, very vulnerable, ASHA and Anganwadi workers. And when you look at their contribution, 0 to 6 years age of child, Anganwadi workers, ASHA workers, health activists, they're ensuring, they're not only confined to child and woman, they have wider ambit. Still, they're very vulnerable. They're not getting even a minimum salary. So that is not done in Amrit Kal, in this new India. This should not happen, right? With reference to ASHA workers, they are regular employees, they are not regular employees. That's what we are discussing. Eliminate option B and 3. Act as link. Their remuneration is mainly performance based. Yes, so both the statements are correct. B, 2 and 3, second and third. Anganwadi, they do not work under Ministry of Health, guys. I've told you, ICDS scheme, Child and Women Development. So they are under Ministry of Women and Child Development, not Health. Health, under Health, ASHA workers are there. Remember these facts, they're important. So eliminate first, you're left with A and C. Check the third one. They pay statutory minimum wages, and no, they're not paid any minimum wage, etc. It's all depends on the states, etc. How much they will be getting. So A is the answer, 2 only. MCQ 32, ICDS launched in 1970s. Target children not up to 14 years. I've told you, 0 to 6 years. These are the things, that's how they will make questions tougher, guys. Check the third one. One of the world's largest early child, yes. So the answer is A. 36th, menstrual hygiene is now under Article 21. Supreme Court has given a judgment. It's state's duty to ensure, women, girls, they're getting pads and sanitary pads and all. So menstrual health and hygiene, it's a fundamental right under Article 21, right to life and dignity. So we are very, very thankful to Supreme Court that they have done that, so that they are focusing on this triptych of stigma, stereotyping, and humiliation. Humiliation. Just remember, menstrual health comes under which article? Article 21. And more important from mains perspective, from P perspective, just keep it in mind. NFHS 5, National Family Health Survey 5, they're saying that menstrual methods, they have improved, but still, if you see the improvement, 77.3% people, they are having access to these menstrual pads and all, sanitary pads. So still 25% women, they're not getting it. So that's not cool. Because of that, they're not going to school. So many things they are facing. Menstrual poverty, it is being termed by Supreme Court. Violates bodily autonomy, prevent girls from accessing education, creates inequality between girls who cannot access these, stuff, basic stuff, menstrual stuff, and the girls who can afford these sanitary products. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, they have focused on menstrual hygiene, but still we have a long way to go. So recent Supreme Court judgment recognizing menstrual health and hygiene fundamental right under Article 21. Guys. 37th, more or less, health component budget introduced. In budget, what do we have for health? So there is a national health policy, guys. Let me show you. National Health Policy 2017, which says that out of, let's say, GDP is 100 rupees, 2.5 should be spent to health. In India, it is around 1.2 to 1.5%. Current budget also, they did not increased it beyond that. So that's a sad fact. Good facts. Union budget allocated 1.05 lakh crore to healthcare. Remember these numbers. UPSC can directly ask you. It's an increase from last year's estimates. The new initiative, Biopharma Shakti. What they're focusing on, biologics and biosimilar. What is biologics? Medicines which are made using microorganisms, bacteria, etc. Biologics. Biosimilars. So when biologics patent expire, you can create a replica, which is not exactly the same, but you can create a replica and use it. It's cheaper than biologics. So this is, they are focusing on Biopharma Shakti. Then NIPER. NIPER is pharmaceutical research. So there is one NIPER in Mohali. So pharmaceutical research, drugs and all. NEEMHANS is related to mental health. There is one NEEMHANS, only NEEMHANS in India, that is in Bangalore. So they are planning on, so they are focusing on NIPER and NEEMHANS. 1 lakh allied health professionals, who will help doctors and nurses, your physiotherapists, etc. 1.5 lakh elderly care workers, because our population will age now. Aging population will increase. 17 cancer medicines, etc. You can see they are exempted from custom duty. Tax collected at source on medication medical and educational remittances reducted from 5 to 2%. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a cancer, you want to go to US for cancer treatment. So in US, the cancer treatment cost has been specified as 10 lakh. So 10 lakh you have to pay to hospital, but then 2% of 10 lakh, 2% of 10 lakh, that will be, you don't just send 10 lakh outside. What you will do is, you can see here, what is this, man? 0.2 lakhs. 0.2, right? What did I do here, man? 2%, yes, 0.2 lakhs. So that means 20,000 I have to pay to center. That is tax collected at source. 10 lakh 20,000 I have to take out from my bank if my cancer costs 10 lakh. It's not like this 20,000 is go on. Later I will pay the whole tax and everything. Let's say overall my tax is 5 lakh. So that 20,000 will be reduced, tax will be deducted, whatever I am paying here. So that is tax collected at source. Hope I'm making some sense here. So this is one thing, it has reduced from 5% to 2%, which will be, earlier you were supposed to pay 50,000 on your cancer treatment abroad, this TCS, now it will be 20,000. So that is actually good, right? So all these things are happening. Government has reduced funding for NHM, National Health Mission, which was launched in 2013 before Amrit Kal, because it's not BJP related mission. That's why maybe they have reduced it. This NHM has subsumed National Rural Health Mission and National Urban Health Mission. National Rural Health Mission is very old. It was introduced in 2000s. Government has reduced funding for them because this is not their mission. It was introduced before them. And again, I have told you, ASHA workers, they are directly associated with these missions. So if the money reduces for the whole mission, money reduces for these workers as well. Sad state. So these are some things which are happening in healthcare sector. Budget we will talk about in economy as well. So keep it in mind. This was about health sector. What are the things which are actually happening in health sector? Guys, let's focus. Biologics, biosimilars. Biologics medicine produced using living. Yes, correct. Biosimilar, exactly. They're not exact chemical copies. They are replicas, not exactly same. If you make exactly same, patent violation case will be filed against you. So not exactly same. 99, 98% API or even lesser than that. So second is wrong. Eliminated. Now you're left with A, B, and C. Check the third one. Biosimilars generally enter the market after patent expiry. Yes. So the answer is C. MCQ 35, with reference to Neem Hans, mental health, located in Bangalore, I've told you. Mental health, yes. They do not focus on pharmaceutical. NIPER focus on pharmaceutical. P is pharmaceutical. MH is mental health. So third is wrong. D, 1 and 2. Chepandis, cheap. Guys, please be serious. Don't do more chepandis. You people are good boys or girls. Next. MCQ 36. Consider the following statement regarding India's public healthcare spending. National public, yes, that is first is correct. So you're left with A and C. Budget did not achieve it. Second is wrong. So the answer is A, 1 only. Next, Article 38, 10th February 2026. What is the current controversy around Form 7? So there is RPA 1950. Then there is RPA 1951, which is there in your pre as well as main syllabus. So remember these facts. So RPA 1950 is about us, voters, who can vote and all, revision of electoral laws. So this Form 7 is about RPA 1950. RPA 1951 is about these elections, election disputes, how much money they will be investing, blah, 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 corrupt practices, RPA 1951. So under this Form 7, anybody can raise complaint against himself or some other people that this name has to be deleted because he has died or he has gone to some other place, etc., etc. But in this SERP process, we are saying that there is a large number of Form 7 application which has been filed. And opposition parties, they're like, this is an effort to just delete names or people from minority communities and communities whom are not expected to vote for the ruling party. Form 7 applications were filed in their names without consent, etc. Form 7 used to object to inclusion of a name in electoral rolls. So you can yourself file, if you have an objection to your name, you can file objection about some other people's name also. It can be used to object another person's names or one's own name. Earlier there was a restriction. Earlier there was a condition that if you are filing objections, you should be voter from the same polling booth. That thing was amended by Supreme means Election Commission. Any voter in the constituency can object, and lots of objections have been seen under Form 7 of RPA 1950. And BLA, booth level agents, they can authorize. Just for exam perspective, remember what is Form 7 related to RPA 1950. Basic difference between RPA 1950 and 1951. These things we have to keep in mind. And you can have a look at all the provisions, what are there, booth level officers, then they will do verification, etc. If your name is removed, you can file appeal against EROs and all these people to the district magistrate. ERO is electoral registration officer. You don't have to do PhD. Basic understanding what is Form 7, who can file against it. Enumeration forms are these verification forms which are going on through during SIR, where they are verifying names to be deleted, to be added, etc. etc. Many names have been deleted, or ASDs, absent, sifted, dead, or duplicate. You can see these numbers. We will talk about SIR in detail from mains perspective. Right now, from pre perspective, just keep it in mind. They can tell you Form 7 is a part of RPA 1951 dealing with this. No, RPA 1950 and all those stuff. With reference to Form 7 is used to object to the inclusion of a name in electoral roll. Yes, correct. Only booth level officers, no, anybody can file objection. So second is wrong. If you eliminate second, you will get the answer C1 and 3. Always go for option elimination, guys. Can be filed on the grounds of death, duplication, change of residence. Yes. Enumeration forms are best described as data collection tools used during electoral roll revision, which is happening right now. Cool, sir. So we have 12 more articles to go for polity. Revise these articles very minutely, go through them, static, current affairs, everything, getting into like, share, and subscribe, guys. And you're your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. Keep that in mind. If I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate. If you want this particular PDF, you can send me a message at the same number. Take care, be blessed. I will see you soon. Hello everyone, Chipukumari, Sappebaris, Chipandis, Chiputilsulay, the Kadu guys. So today we have to talk about polity and governance, part 4. This is the end, Khatam. Khatam, the end, as our Honorable PM, PM means MP rather, and hopefully one day PM, Rahul Gandhi sir says, Khatam, the end. Oh my god, guys, let's not, again, I take my words back. We want Modi sir for life. We don't want any democracy. Dictatorship is the way to go. Again, I'm not going anywhere. We are not talking about all these things. Everyone is awesome. Modi sir is awesome. Rahul Gandhi sir is awesome. Polity and governance part 4 is awesome. Khatam, the end. Let's focus, guys. My name is Shubham Saga. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and become a really good boy, a really good girl. Wah, wah, wah. This is my Telegram channel. I do Hindu analysis Monday to Saturday. I share Hindu analysis PDF in this Telegram channel. You can again join it and become a really good boy, a really good girl. 9th March 2026, 39th article, 50 articles polity, like we are doing 6 modules. 38 we have done, 39 to 50 we will do today. This article appeared 39 to 50. Oh my god, look at my handwriting. Even doctor will be like, oh my god, Shubham Sagar, your handwriting is worse than us. So 9th March, one nation, one election. We keep on talking about it. Modi sir talks about it, that our country always remains in election mode. Right now, Modi sir is in Assam making reels and tea bagans and all with ladies and everyone. So Modi sir is very good in these things, reels and election campaigns and all. But we should not remain always in election campaign mode, right? Development also has to happen sometime. So that's why there are people who talk about one nation, one election. M.K. Stalin sir is saying that this is not the way to go. S.R. Bommai versus Union of India. Federalism is a part of basic structure. Basic structure emerged from Keshwanand Bharti judgment of 1973. Federalism, and when you focus on one nation, one election, you're undermining states' authority, election costs, etc. Indonesia, they also tried to do this. Simultaneous national and local election 2019, 900 people, poll worker died, and now from 2029 they will do separate elections. So you can see here, what are the reasons given? Election cost will be reduced, security deployment will reduce, MCC is what? Model code of conduct. Whenever we have 28 states, some UTs which have elections and all, and then you have central elections. So more often than not, countries in model code of conduct in some region or the other. So all these things affect developmental works, and that's why we should have one nation, one election. But we have seen Indonesia, they will revert back. Other countries do not follow. As Stalin sir is saying, Canada, Australia, Germany, they conduct elections separately. Then here there's one argument that we incur a lot of expenditure in election. That argument will also be negated. 129 constitutional bill talks about aligning state and assembly election with Lok Sabha. Some state government may lose part of the term. Let's say there's a state government of Tamil Nadu and they are there for 2 years. Then they lost their majority. They lost the confidence. Then if another election happens, it will be there for 2.5 or 3 years till the time it coincide with the next Lok Sabha election, which is in a way undermining states' federal authority, and that is wrong because federalism is a part of basic structure according to SR Bommai judgment. ONOE may cut short state mandates and all. Problem of unexpired term elections. If elections happen mid-term, government may get short mandates. Again, weak governance, undermining of states' federal authority. And you can see here, sometimes precedent rule can also be imposed that, okay, state government was there for 4 years, so for 1 year we'll not have election, let's have precedent rule. So all these things will make center stronger and states weaker. And again, one nation, one, again, he's saying that, Stalin is saying that it may weaken federalism. And then there is another argument, cost 4,500 crore for combined Lok Sabha and Assembly election, which is 0.03% of GDP. And Lok Sabha historically cost 0.02 to 0.05. So this is negligible, this is nothing when you compare the whole thing and how much money we are incurring in this and that and all, making palaces, making new parliament when nobody goes there, adjournment, sign die, prorogation, dissolution, God knows what. So Justice Kuri and Joseph Committee, which was established by Tamil Nadu government, they are saying that scrap, withdraw this ONOE bill. And it came like, Ramnath Kovind committee was established, which talks about, which has in a way endorsed this ONOE thing, one nation, one election. So let's see what happens and how things move forward, guys, because this is important. This is a very tricky area we are venturing into. With reference to ONOE, it proposed simultaneous election for Lok Sabha and all state legislative assembly really collect. Proposal has been recommended by high level committee chaired by Ramnath Kovind sir. That is also correct. I've just told you, requires constitutional amendment, yes. So the answer is Chepandis, not Chepandis, only D, 1, 2, 3. Whoa, guys. Which of the following country was cited as an example where simultaneous election, regional election led to administrative overload and human casualties? Indonesia. Chepu Keshu. So federalism is a part of basic structure. SR Bommai versus Union of India. Remember, these cases will help you in mains also. 40th article, Apex Court upholds right to die for man in vegetative state. So you talk about active euthanasia, we talk about passive euthanasia, we talk about chepandis, we talk about chepu, telsu, ledu. But again, here I cannot make any stupid joke because this is a serious matter. First person to die from passive euthanasia. Like there is active euthanasia, there is passive euthanasia. Active euthanasia means I'm killing you by injecting something in you. So when I give you injection, etc., to kill you, so that you die, that is active euthanasia. Passive euthanasia means withdrawal of life support. So you are in a vegetative state. I will show you. He's the first guy. Oh my God, Harish Rana. This is such a sad thing. I sometimes felt like crying when I was hearing his whole case. See, this guy, engineering student, felt from fourth floor and building of his, and then he went into this vegetative state where he lost, like you can understand vegetative state. He is breathing, but that's all what he is doing. He has no idea what is happening around him. His parents, they exhausted all their savings and all, and then they went to Supreme Court that he is, we don't know what will happen to him when we die, so we want to ensure that because he's almost nearing death and literally, so we want him to go before we go because we don't have any money left. Then Supreme Court was like, no, we cannot allow that to happen because he still is not on ventilator support, this and that. Then they went second time to Supreme Court, and at that time the condition worsened of this particular guy, and now Supreme Court has allowed it. So right to die for man in vegetative state, like just breathing, rest everything. He has no idea what is happening around him. He is 100% quadriplegic, means he has lost control of his whole four limbs, two hands and 2 feet. Persistent vegetative state. Such a sad thing, man. See, that's why be happy who you are wherever you are. When we think about this guy, he could have been an engineer working somewhere. Oh my God, this is so sad. Can make anyone cry. So withdrawal of life support allowed the withdrawal of clinically assisted nutrition and hydration, CANH, and they are saying that we should not be using the word passive euthanasia. Euthanasia means active euthanasia, Supreme Court is saying, and like passive euthanasia should not be used. We should be using WWMT, withdrawing or withdrawal of medical treatment. When we say euthanasia, it means active euthanasia. Now there is a homework for you guys. You have to find out which is the first country in the world which allowed euthanasia in any form. UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it. If you know the answer, post it in the comment section. So again, first case, Supreme Court gave their own judgment in 2018. Constitutional bench means 5 or more judges of Supreme Court. In Common Cause versus Union of India, they talked about passive euthanasia, but this is the first case. This article published on 12th March, right? This guy died on 25th March. I started following his case because I became emotional. I don't know why. This is such a sad case, man. So yes, do remember WWMT is passive euthanasia, and they are talking and asking government to make some laws for such kind of cases where there is no chance that that person can come back to any semblance of normal life. Which of the following best describes active euthanasia? Deliberately ending a patient's life by direct medical act. A, guys, Chippendies, guys. MCQ 5, passive euthanasia, why I'm stammering, passive euthanasia primarily established in Common Cause versus Union of India. B, right to die with dignity. It can be a part of which article, guys? Anything and everything is brought under this article. So take a guess. Right to die. It's a part of right to live with dignity. So if there is no dignity involved in the way that Rana sir was, so article 21, guys. 41st article. 193 India Bloc MPs submitted notice for removal of CEC. That whole motion has been rejected, but chief election, this is the first time it has ever happened that a motion has been brought against removing a chief election commissioner. So yeah, that is and he can be removed in the same manner as a judge of Supreme Court. So generally you need 100 signatures in Lok Sabha, 50 in Rajya Sabha, 130 people signed in Lok Sabha, 63 in Rajya Sabha. That shows people are worried. The way SAR is being conducted, the way votes are being removed in minority dominated districts of these states and all. So again, we are not going there because everything is awesome in Amrit Kal. Important from exam perspective, Supreme Court judge impeachment process same as removal of CEC or vice versa. 100 MPs in Lok Sabha, 50 MPs in Rajya Sabha. Admission, speaker or chairman may admit or reject. They have rejected the motion of CEC. An inquiry committee will be then set up because it was rejected in the second step only. The third, fourth, fifth, sixth does not matter, but we are just reading it from static purpose, like perspective. So 3-member inquiry committee would have been formed, committee would have investigated, and then it would have been passed, must have been passed in both houses by special majority. There are different types of special majority, special majority plus ratification by half of the state. Here it is special majority of total membership plus 2/3 members present and voting. I have already given you examples how this happens. Let's say in Lok Sabha, your total member is currently 540. So it has to be 271 if we see the first condition. And if we see the second condition, 300 people are present, then it has to also be more than or greater than 200. So, and we have to take the bigger of the numbers, so that will be 271. So that means both the conditions has to be satisfied, 1 and 2, right? So 271, 200. So what can satisfy both? 271. So out of 300 people who are present and voting, 271 has to vote. So you can understand how tough this whole process is. After Parliament post passes the motion, President can issue the order removing CEC. So tough process, very difficult. But again, it's a token symbol that we are not very happy with how CEC is conducting matter. Something has happened for the first time in independent India. Motion against removal of CEC. Now let's solve some static questions. Here you have to use your static based knowledge. Union territory is not represented, they are represented. Delhi, Puducherry, and all, they are represented. First is wrong. You're left with B and D. It is within the purview of, no, they do not adjudicate election disputes. They conduct elections for parliament and state legislature, president, vice president. Adjudication is High Court, Supreme Court. So second is wrong, answer is D, none. Constitution of India Parliament consists of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha as well as president. So these kind of static questions, don't make mistakes in these questions, guys. That would be really bad. Election Commission, constitutional body, conducts elections, correct? No, they do not adjudicate election disputes. So third is wrong, answer is A. A, 1 and 2. MCQ 9, removal of CEC. Remove the same man as Judge of Supreme Court. Removal requires special majority. Yes. Both the, now see what trick I have played here. You people have a tendency, because you have solved a lot of mocks, 1 only, 2 only, both, neither. See here, UPSC can also do that. 1 only, both, 2 only, neither. So look out for these options, guys. You may feel like, sir, what are you saying? We will never make those mistakes. People do make those mistakes. I have seen it. You may have also seen it. You may yourself have made these mistakes, guys. So please don't do such stupidities. Chipu chipu, guys. Focus. MCQ 10. Which of the following union territories are represented in Rajya Sabha? Have a look at these options. The answer is A. 1 and 2, Delhi, Puducherry, Andaman, and Lakshadweep. They don't have. Jharkhand Assembly passes motion against VBG Ramji in your time, like in our time rather. You people were not born. There was a song, Mera Piya Ghar Aaya Ji Ramji. So that means my Pia has come home, my beloved has come home, oh my god. So based on that song, government has come up with this new scheme, VBG Ramji. So it is going to it is going to replace Narega. So Narega, anybody, any members of any household can work in rural areas. It is right to work in rural areas, 100 days of unskilled manual work. But VBG Ramji government is saying that they will provide 150 days. Manrega is a demand-driven program. Demand-driven program means if I am in a village and I demand work, I have to be provided work within a certain period. Manrega, most of the money was provided by Center. Now Center is coming up with proposals that VBG Ramji 60-40 it will be there, 40% states have to give, and there is no guarantee that they will provide work. If the work will be there, they will give it. So that's why Jharkhand is saying that no, 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 we don't like this. BJP MLAs were protesting in Jharkhand Assembly, but they are saying that no, they want to preserve Manrega and they want to continue Manrega instead of replacing it with proposed VBG Ramji. So this article published on 19th March 2026. Chipu Kumari, guys. So they are saying that demand based means if I'm demanding work, I should be provided work within a particular period. Minister suggested increasing guaranteed employment from 100 days to 150 days, and they have said that it had played a crucial role in reducing migrations and all, and it's a lifeline for people in Jharkhand, rural families in Jharkhand. And they are concerned. VPG Ramji, we still don't know much about it. Government is ambiguous about it. Let's see how things pan out. But things which we actually know is Manrega is a demand-driven work. If I am demanding work, I have to be provided. Possibly target-driven. So let's see how governments come out with the. There are so many still. We don't know. We still need to get a proper draft of this particular scheme. So minimum 100 days guarantee, not clear guarantee, but government is saying we'll provide 150 days. The reality is, in current day and age, Namrit Kal, people are getting on an average 50 days of employment under Manrega, not 100 days. So how they will reach or shift from 50 to 150, God knows. Mostly fully funded Manrega. Now they're saying that 40% states has to contribute. So you can see here, government is like, they never liked Manrega because there were leakages. You are not seeing creation of durable assets and you are giving money. And government was like, no, we can only give you money if you're doing something, if you're seeing something visible on the ground, tangible. And that's why they started geotagging and they started searching whether there are stuff which like they are saying they're creating ponds and lakes and all. So via remote sensing and geotagging, they started searching whether actually ponds and lakes were created or we have given money for nothing. So there are concerns related to Manrega as well. Which of the following concern has been raised regarding VBG Ramaji? So a removal of legal guarantee of employment. So maybe it will not be a demand driven program. I cannot demand work. Government, if government has work, they will give it to me. Otherwise, stay in your house, watch IPL. Which of the following statement best explains demand driven employment? Employment is provided when workers demand it. PYQ 13 UPSC 2011. Who are eligible to benefit from Manrega? Adult members of any household, but you have to be in rural area. It's not BPL, anyone can work. But it's 100 days of unskilled work. It's not like I have done computer science, BTech in C Sharp, C++, Java. No, unskilled manual work. If you can do it, you will get it. Doesn't matter who you are, below poverty or backward community or SC, ST or any household. D is the answer, guys. D, D, D. Chipu Kumaris, Chipu 43rd. SC status only for Hindus, Buddhists, and Sikhs. Top court has said that. They have said that, scheduled caste. There's no concept of caste as such in your Chipu Kumaris means in Christianity or Islam. So this SC status do not apply to you. It only originally applied to Hindus and then it was later extended to Buddhists and Sikhs. Now the question is, do we have caste in Buddhism and Sikhism? If we don't have caste in Buddhism and Sikhism, and if SC status can be extended for Buddhist and Sikh people, Sikhs in 56 and Buddhists in 1990, why can't it be extended for Christians and Islamic people? Supreme Court currently has said that person professing any religion other than Hinduism, Sikhism or Buddhism, they cannot be considered SC status, or they cannot avail benefits of SC status. If you have converted to another religion, Christianity, Islam, you lose your SC status, So yeah, that is the whole thing. And why this thing we are talking about? Because there was a person. His name was Chintada Anand, born in SC community, and he converted to Christianity, became a padri sort of, religious figure, and he filed a case under SC/ST Act 1989 that he has been abused. And Andhra Pradesh government dismissed the case because they were saying that you are no longer an SC, right? And Supreme Court upheld the court's decision. But this is Supreme Court is saying the same, that you are no longer a SC, you are Christian. And in Christianity, there is no caste as such. But the ground reality is different, guys. It's not like there are many people who you will see when you see Sufi movement and Sufism and all. You will see lower caste Hindu, they converted to Sufism and all. The reason is they want to get rid of those abuse, and that's why many of them can get converted. But it's not like if they have converted, the abuse will suddenly stop. It does not happen like that. Ground reality is different. And then the other point, if this whole thing can be extended for Sikh and Buddhist, why can't it be extended for Christianity or Christian and you know, and Islam. Do we have caste system in Sikhism? Do we have caste system in Buddhism? Buddhism was basically, fighting against all this Brahmanical supremacy and hierarchy and all those stuff. So we have to talk that also. The term profess means you can see all this. Now, when can you avail your SC status? If you reconvert back. If you were SC, you converted to Christianity, and now you reconvert. A person seeking to regain SC status. So when you change your religion to Christianity, Islam, you lose all SC benefits, all reservation, legal protection. How can you get it? When you reconvert to SC status, by proving what was your original caste identity, whether you genuinely converted or you just converted for reservation and all, and whether you have been accepted by your original caste community SC within your Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism fold. So you can understand. So in SC, like SC, if you're Hinduism, Hindu, Buddhist, or Sikh, then SC status is for you. Christianity, Islam, no. What about ST status? If I can I also lose my scheduled tribe status? The answer is no. It is not the same case like SC. Scheduled tribe is associated with a particular tribe. Even if you convert religion, that innateness, that attributes of your tribe is not going away. So unlike SC, scheduled tribe status is not restricted by religion. A person can claim ST benefits if they continue to belong to the tribe in substance. So yeah, you can. So hope you can understand. There is a difference here. SC status linked to religion. ST status not. Again, interesting judgment which clears a lot of things, or maybe makes some things more confusing. I don't know. So it originally restricted scheduled caste status only to Hindus, Sikhs, and Buddhists were later included. Yes, allows person of any religion. No, not any religion to claim SC status. A 1 and 2 chip and D's. Chip, guys, grow up. With reference to SC and ST, consider the following statement. Both SC and ST are restricted by religion. No, SC is restricted, ST not. So first is wrong. You're left with A and B. Depend on continued tribal identity, SC linked to specific religion as per, yes. So the answer is B. 2 and 3. You can pause me whenever you're seeing these questions. Pause me and then try to solve these questions. Which of the following best explains why Christianity was discussed? Because it does not recognize caste as an institution. 44th article, 25th March 2026, deepening global corruption as a pointer for India. Corruption perception index has been published by Transparency International. So corruption perception index. So there is a score they give. If your score is ever 50, you are doing good. If your score is below 50, you're more like very corrupt. More closer to zero, you're very, very corrupt. So countries, like most of the countries, if they're ever 50, they're doing good. But what is happening? Most countries of the world, they're scoring below 50. Widespread corruption concerns. India's score is 39 out of 100, ranked almost at the mid. I'm so happy because corruption is a norm rather than exception in our country, whereas corruption is an exception rather than a norm in most of the countries of the world. I'm not saying it. Second ARC Ethics in Governance report says, I made videos on it which you can use in your GS mains paper 2 and GS paper 4 ethics, so you can read this. But in that regard, if we are at the mid, that's fine. But overall, the whole world is becoming corrupt. Less score 50, 122 out of 180 countries score below 50. We have seen, if you're scoring above 50, you're good. Below 50, bad. So all these things are happening. India is also, it's fine. We are at 91, score is below 50, 39, and there is so much scope for improvement. India loses around 1 to 1.5% of GDP due to corruption. Some improvements are there, digital payments and all, direct benefit transfer, GST. But yes, it's a issue. It's a systemic issue. It will. India's score is low and has not improved in 10 years. During this Amrit Kal and all, we have not done any Amrit Kal related work when it comes to corruption. Corruption is still a norm. So yeah, lot to do. Just like Modi sir has removed Delhi pollution and all, same way we want Modi sir to remove corruption. So vote for him, guys. Vote for him. Please bring him to power. Corruption Perception Index published by Transparency International. Whoa. Guys, which of the following statement is correct about CPI trends globally? Majority of the countries score below 50. Remember these facts and figures. Really good. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. And again, if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. If you want this particular PDF, you can send me a message at this same number. Really good. 45th article, transgender persons amendment bill, a flawed fix. Transgender intersex people, they are not the same, but they are treated as same in our cheapandi countries. That means awesome countries. So what is this article all about? Transgender amendment bill has been proposed, and under this cheapandi bill, what is happening? Like, they are trying to do certain stuff. I cannot determine what is my gender or identity. See, there are certain things which we have to understand, guys. What are those certain things? The certain things are this, like sex and gender, they are not the same. Sex is how I was born. body wise I'm a male, but feeling I may feel like a female, so my gender will be female. Transgender and intersex person, they are not the same. Transgender, I've just told you, like hijra, kinder and all, they are transgender communities. So they may be a male but behave like a female, they may be a female, behave like a male. So these are transgender. Body is something else, feeling is something else. Intersex is not that. Intersex is what? I'm born with a biological sex characteristics. So a baby is born with, you can see here, external body looking female, internal organs partly male, or you have XX chromosomes for female, XY for male. But if you have XXY, you have traits of both male and female. So this is an intersex person. Intersex is not equal to transgender. They are not the same. But in our ranking, rating, how we are calculating stuff, we are synonymously using them. Diverse sexual orientation, people attracted to different kind of people. Gender fluid, non-heteronormative identities, person gender identity is not fixed or not strictly male female. Sometimes I may feel like a male, sometimes I may feel like a female. Oh my god. So you need to know these terms if you want to understand transgender amendment bill. So what this transgender bill is, chepanding. Chepandi means what they're talking about. So they narrow the definition of transgender person. They're like, no, I cannot define who I am. They will, like, there will be a board certification system, they will determine it. So self-perceived gender identity has been taken away. It was allowed in 2019 Transgender Act. It has been taken away. Now medical board certification system will decide who we are. Right to privacy also gone out of the picture, article 21. And confuses sex identity versus gender identity. We have just discussed sex is not always equal to gender. Intersex is not equal to transgender always. But all these things are clubbed together in our current day and age. 1 to 2% person globally are intersex. We have seen XXY chromosome and all. No explicit ban on non-consensual surgeries on intersex infants. So that provision is not there in this bill. Violates Article 21. You can see here there is exploitation of Hijra and Kinnar community which happen Hijra in Kinnar community. There is no talk about it. There is not talk about legalizing their marriage, adoption and all. How those things can be facilitated. No talk about that. But there is a talk about how we cannot, like, people cannot determine their own gender and all. Complete silent on marriage, adoption, inheritance and divorce. Why I was laughing, because I was saying we cannot decide who we are. I'm not a transgender, guys. I'm not an intersex. I'm a normal male. But yeah, this, yeah, but again, I'm very proud of whoever they are. You are, like, you have a right to decide who you are. Sex, gender, they're not the same. More often than not they are the same, but sometimes it can happen, and that's totally fine. So overall criticism, you can have a look at this. You can read what suggested way forward is important from mains perspective. From pre perspective, let's see some questions so that you can understand where you have to focus on. With reference to transgender person amendment bill, removes the right to self-perceived gender identity. Correct. Introduces the medical board certification system. Correct. Expand civil rights. No, it does not expand. They are very silent on marriage and adoption. Completely silent on marriage, adoption, inheritance and divorce. So cheapu cheapu. So third is wrong. Answer is B, 1 and 2. Which of the following correctly differentiates sex identity and gender identity? Sex identity is biological. I'm so sorry. I was just laughing thinking about something I said. Sex identity is biological, gender identity is personal, physio or psychological. Transgender person, a person born male, identifies as female. Born with XXY chromosome, that is an intersex person. So A is the answer here. 46th article, Lok Sabha applies guillotine. So in our time, when you people were not born, there was something which happened which was known as French Revolution. In that, there was a friend of mine, his name was Robespierre, a very, very humble guy and a very non-violent kind of a guy, you know, Robespierre, and he used to do guillotine. Same guillotine is happening in Lok Sabha now. So guillotine, the head was removed from your body, because sometimes head has to go somewhere else, body has to go somewhere else. No, this is different guillotine, guys. So there is something called as demand for grants. Demand for grant means different ministries, they want certain amount of money. For that, they have to take permission from parliament, just like Huma Qureshi said to Nawazuddin Siddiqui in Gangs of Wasipur, that you have to take permission if you want to touch me, touch me, touch me, zar zar, touch me, touch me, touch me. There was a song in our time. So here also, if like different ministries, they need some money, they have to ask for money, demand for grants, their detailed request for money. So in these money, like they want money, so there will be opposition leaders. They're like, why do you want money, this much money for this and that? So there'll be discussion which will happen. Sometimes the time will be low and they'll be like, okay, let's pass it. Let's pass all the demand for grants without discussion. That is guillotine. Guillotine is, due to time constraint, not all demands are discussed. remaining demands are put to vote without discussion. This voting of these demand for grants can only happen in Lok Sabha. Remember this fact and figure, this is important. Only Lok Sabha has the power to vote on these demands. Discussion can happen in both the house. Voting can only be done by Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha passed demand for grants, use of guillotine procedure has been done. This is not my best friend Robespierre's procedure. It is something Chapandis together. Just give me a second, guys. So yes, sir. So only two ministries discussed in detail. For other ministries, guillotine was done. So yeah, Article 113 of the Constitution, Lok Sabha has the power to vote on these demands. Just remember these terms are important. What is guillotine? No, not. It refers to passing remaining demand for grants without discussion. B. 47th article is compulsory voting feasible in the Indian context. Voter turnout, how it can be increased. Although I was, when I'm making this video, voter turnout has been good in Assam and all. So yeah, so Supreme Court was asking this question whether we can make compulsory voting or we can make voting mandatory and all. It happens in some states. In some countries there is compulsory voting. Australia, Argentina, Brazil, fines for non voters, Peru, denial of certain public services. Can we do the same? But again, with due respect, Argentina is big, Australia is big, but population wise we are very big, right? So, and again, there is too much migration. How will people go? So many things are there, and there are different committees. Dinesh Goswami committee opposed compulsory voting. Law Commission is saying that we can, if voting is become compulsory, it can increase turnout by 7%, but effectiveness depends on strict penalties. Article 326, right to vote, adult franchise. RP 1950 18 plus, and you can see all these things. Only those in electoral votes roles can vote. Right to vote is a statutory right. Supreme Court has said that. UPSC has already asked a PYQ in 2017 where they have written right to vote is a constitutional right. There was a legal right option also. So Article 326, you can solve that PYQ. Voting compulsory, not a fundamental duty. Fundamental duty, Swaran Singh Committee recommendation, 42nd Amendment, Indira Gandhi ma'am, 10 fundamental duties were originally there. Swaran Singh Committee, I think they recommended voting to be made as fundamental duty, but Indira Gandhi ma'am was like, no, let's keep it. Let's not include it. There is an 11th fundamental duty which has been added later related to education. So we will see that fundamental duties based on USSR Constitution, fundamental duties, and they are also based on a concept called as rule of jurisprudence. What is rule of jurisprudence? Where there is a right, there must be a corresponding duty. If we have given you fundamental rights, there has to be some fundamental duties. So concerned with compulsory voting, penalties like fines or denial of services are too harsh, may violate Article 19 clause 1 subclause A, freedom of expression. So if I have a right to vote, I also have a right not to vote. That is also part of my freedom of expression. I feel like all these are ek hi thali ke chatte batte. That means all are same, no different. Then why should I vote? So again, way forward, etc. Important from mains perspective. Let's see some things which are important from pre perspective. Fundamental duties, non-justiciable. You cannot go court for that if something is violated. Some of the fundamental duties. Part 4A. Remember this. Part 3, fundamental rights. Part 4, DPSP. Part 4A, fundamental duties are important. 10, and later on 11th was added related to education, inspired by USSR Constitution. This is important. They can ask you. It was inspired by USA Constitution, this and that. So these are the 11 fundamental duties. This 11th one was added by 86th Constitutional Amendment, education to children. You can read these: respect, freedom, unity, different, harmony, culture, environment, science, property, excellence, education. One word has been taken from, or one phrase has been taken from each fundamental duty. So you can paste it on your wall. You can have a look at it. The more you look at this mnemonic, you will be able to remember it. Try, because they can ask you which of the following is not a fundamental duty. They have already asked it in 2011. Which of the following is not a fundamental duty to vote in public elections? A. Chepandis. Chepu, guys, focus. Fundamental duties, they are inspired by Constitution of USSR, part of 4, not 4A, not part 4. So second is wrong. And the answer is A. Swaran Singh Committee. Now there is a homework for you. Santhanam Committee. Santhanam Committee is associated with what? Ashok Dalwai Committee, doubling farmers' income and all. So these committees are also important. Swaran Singh Committee, fundamental duties. Santhanam Committee, if you know it, post it in the comment section. Which of the following duties were added later? Education. Where is education? Provide opportunities for education to children. Chepu. 48th article. State cannot place arbitrary ceiling on disability limits. So we have RPWD Act, 2016, which talks about floor, the limit, the minimum amount of disability which you should have if you want to avail disability benefits. and that is 40%. There is no upper cap, and now different state governments are coming up with upper cap, and that's why Supreme Court has given this ruling that you cannot impose an upper cap, arbitrary upper limits like 60%. RBWD Act, Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, set a minimum threshold. So if you have disability in your limbs, etc., let's say 20% disability, you cannot avail these disability limits. Only if the disability is 40% or more, you can avail disability benefits like 4% reservation for jobs, 5% reservation for education and all. So 40% disability requirement is a minimum qualifying criteria. There is no maximum cap. You cannot come up with maximum cap just like that. What has happened is a candidate, he has 90% locomotor disability, but even with those disabilities, he cleared exam, district attorney, and but the state government rejected it. They said that no, no, the upper limit is 60%. You are just beyond that upper limit. 90% is just too much. Code is saying that no, if he is able enough, and he has shown it earlier, he has 15 years of professional experience. He could perform jobs functions effectively. He has shown it earlier. So you make things easier for him. You create conditions for him. You appoint a candidate within 2 weeks. High Court was saying that rejected that candidate's plea, but Supreme Court is saying that no, he has proved himself that he can do jobs effectively, 90% disability or not, and there is no upper limit as such in RPWD Act. So don't come up with arbitrary 60% upper limit. So emphasize regional accommodation, meaning necessary adjustment must be made so persons with disabilities can perform job duties effectively. Why I feel like itching in my nose? Okay. Sometimes, okay. So again, you can read all these things. Hope you understood the basic rationale here. What is important from exam perspective? RPWD Act, and they replaced 1995 Act, introduced the number of disabilities from 7 to 21. Remember this, important. 40% is the minimum disability. There is no upper limit as such. 4% reservation in government jobs, 5% in education. So these are some key points which you have to keep in mind. With reference to rights of persons with disability, 7 to 21, not 5% reservation jobs, 5% education, 4% jobs, and benchmark disability athlesia. So 40, this is correct, first and third is correct, answer is A. Cheapu cheapu, guys, no more cheapu cheapus. 27, which of the following is not a feature of RBWD Act? There is no upper limit of disability for eligibility. C. Context of RPWD Act, which of the following is correct regarding reservation? 4% in jobs, 5% in chapandis, that means education. Next, 49. Education Ministry notifies NCRT was in news, or maybe not so good news, that Supreme Court was not very happy with their chapter on corruption in judiciary and all. So many people felt like something bad is going to happen to NCRT, and now central government, they have rewarded it. So it is a deemed university now under UGC Act 1956. Deemed means they can start their own courses, PhD program and all. They have to follow UGC guidelines. They have to follow guidelines of NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, which came after the recommendation of K. Kasturi Rangan Committee. I keep on telling these stuff because they are important. You have to revise this. And it replaced NEP 1986. So deemed to be university. So is it like government saying that you did a good stuff by, again, I don't want to go there, by publishing a chapter on corruption in judiciary? So NCRT can now offer academic courses, blah blah blah. You can read all these things. The NCRT established in 1960s. They have headquarter, and then there is 6 regional institutions. I will show you the location here. This is a government organization set up in 61. They publish textbooks, NCRT textbook, very important, very crucial for exams like UPSC. You can join my History through NCRT series, where I'm covering history NCRT from class 6 to 12, chapter wise, chapter 1, chapter 3, along with history PYQs, pre and means PYQs. See, even this article is saying you to do that. Headquarter New Delhi, 6 regional institute: Ajmer, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Mysuru, Shillong, and another one in Delhi. So you can see all these things. 1961 under Ministry of Education, and now they have become a deemed university. And fine, UGC Act 1956, under that they have become a deemed university. So remember these facts and figures, they are really important. Which of the following best describes the role of NCERT? Develop school curriculum and textbooks. Wow. Deemed to be university, granted under UGC Act 1956. Government examining compliance burden on MSMEs due to war. So this MSME, I can put it in economy also, but there are so many articles on economy, guys. Budget and all, it's like never ending. So I put it in polity here because this is also related to governance. MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. 2020 amendment happened to MSME Act of 2006, under which the definition of MSME sector has been revised. Investment, how much they're investing in plant and machinery. Turnover, which is not equal to profit. Turnover is, or like profit is turnover minus expenses. So micro sector, investment 1 crore up to 1 crore, turnover up to 5 crore. You can see there is a multiplication of 5 here. Small 10 into 5, medium 15 into 5. So you can see this is the limit, and hope you understood the basic difference between turnover and profit. Micro 1.5, small 10.50, and medium 51 250. Again, the cheat code here is, if you want to remember it, just forget about turnover. Forget about it. Just focus on investment. Micro up to 1, small 10, and medium 50. 1, 10, 50, and we just have to multiply by 5 the turnover thing. So just focus on one thing. You'll be able to remember thing in a much better manner then. Really good. What else, guys? So what is happening? MSMEs, they provide a lot of jobs and all. Very important after agriculture, the biggest contributor to employment and all, significant contribution to GDP and all. And they are facing issues because of West Asian crisis. Like the exported items which has to go from India to different countries, they're getting delayed, rerouted. Now they have to be stored again in India. MSMEs, they work on very like fixed amount of money, resource crunch, money crunch, less money. So there are issues. And then there is another issue of export quota. So let's say Europe, they want to bring, or they have set an export quota of 100 units from Asia, you know. So if, like right now turmoil is happening in Asia, maybe China, they will supply Europe the quantity, then that export quota will be sealed off for 3 months. Now MSME sector will have to wait. If their quantity is not going to Europe within a stipulated period, now they have to wait for another 3 months when that quota will open again. So there are issues which MSMEs are facing, and that's why government is holding or having meetings with different ministries to discuss how that can be taken care of, because this is a big issue. MSME is a very, very vital sector for us. Okay, okay. Like anything and everything is MSME, guys. You know, you talk about your IT sector and all. You talk about like anywhere and everywhere they are there. MSME sectors. You talk about agarbatti setup and anything. So yeah, it's very important that we take care of them in the best way possible. PYQ 31. MSMEs, medium enterprises, investment. No, 15 and 50. No, investment is 10. The limit is 10. All banks loan to medium enterprises classified under priority sector. Here your static knowledge is needed. Priority sector lending. So here RBI mandates commercial banks that you have to set aside certain amount of money for certain sector like agriculture, MSMEs and all. So yes, all bank loans to MSMEs qualify under priority sector lending. Second is correct, B2 only. Which of the following best explains priority sector lending? Lending mandated by RBI to key sectors of the economy. B. Which of the following is most appropriate impact of export quota delays? Delay leading to storage and cost increase for MSMEs. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. You are your own competition, not competing with anybody else. Just try to be better than what you were yesterday. And if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this particular number. If you need PDF, these PDFs, you can send me a message at the same number. So that's it from me. Take care, be blessed. I will see you soon.